What's going on, everybody? How are you doing today? I hope everybody's safe and sound, healthy above every single thing in this life. Welcome to another episode of the People's Podcast TV. Before you do anything, just do me a favor. It's going to help us a lot. Hitting that like button, sharing this video, commenting down below, and subscribing if you have not subscribed yet. If some of you have missed the prior video on my main channel, I urge you to go and check it out. We were on a meeting, veterans board meeting, and where I learned a lot of things, my peeps. I got awareness in a few of the main situations that they are actually going through. Production, no, don't touch the camera back there. Thank you. So I decided to bring them here. Give them my platform. As you know, my platform is your platform, so they can have a voice and vent the situation that they're going through, because if they don't have a platform, they will never be heard. And when it comes to our veterans, my peeps, even though there's a couple of things that most of you are iffy about it, we have to give them respect. You know what I mean? Because the freedoms that we are enjoying right now, we have to thank them. And with that being said, I would like to introduce you to my guy, Mount. Yo, Mount, what's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Everything's Gucci?
Good.
A lot of you already know Black Cat.
Black Cat, what's going on?
What's going on? Everything Gucci with you? And most of you know my guy, Brian. What up, Brian?
What's up, guys?
Everything Gucci with you?
Chilling.
And I'm going to let my guy over here to introduce himself and let him know who he is and what he do. Let the people know your name.
My name is Timothy Pena. I'm a Navy veteran, and I've been in New York City about 4 years from Phoenix, Arizona. So I love this city, love this town, and glad to be here.
Tim, thank you for your service, and it's a pleasure having you here. And by the way, my peeps, Tim is a vet. We got you was in the Marines, right?
I was at a amphibious assault forces with the Navy.
Navy. So we have Navy and
Army.
The Army. Yesterday I was in this meeting, and there was a lot of confusion and a lot of chaos going on. Can you like to break down a little bit to us what was the meeting about, and what is the situation that you guys as veterans in New York City are going through? What are the struggles? What are the ups and the downs that you need to be fixed, that you guys need to be heard of, and you guys need the government to adjust these things? What are those?
So we have a couple of different organizations, meeting boards. The New York City Council has a committee on veterans as one of the committees. It's comprised of 5 members, other council members. 2 of them are Republicans, Frank Morano and Councilwoman Palladino. And then the other 3 are Democrats. And
Mike.
They're supposed to speak for the veterans when it comes to the New York City Council and the mayor's office. The meeting last night was with the Veterans Advisory Board. It's a separate board consisted of a chairman, co-chairmans, and they also address veterans issues when it comes to things like laws, rules, policies that are affecting veterans in the New York City area. And they basically work independently, but also with Department of Veterans Services for New York City. Now, New York City is the only city in the country that has its own Department of Veterans Services. Every other state has one Department of Veterans Services for that state, but New York City is unique and it has their own Department of Veterans Services. They're supposed to be the ones who arrange housing, access to claims, services for veterans coming into the community, things like that.
Any what do you think about that, Kat?
I'm just, first of all, thank you, gentlemen, all you gentlemen, for your service for this country.
I like to say that you guys are next to a newborn. You are the veterans who the president of the United States of America. You went out there. You were chosen. Went out there, and so now that you're veterans, you're next to like the infant baby being born. You got to be taken care of by the federal government like that. So when we can do more talking and I can understand, probably try to get a little bit of more picture of what's going on, I would just say fundamentally do 4 requests. You don't have to go in there with the camera because I heard you say you're uncomfortable filming people, but you can go in there and ask for a 4 request on the lady that you was pointed out. Everybody that you want their salaries, where they been the last 10 minutes. You know what I mean? And you keep the checks and balances going on because they're gonna know y'all. And then when y'all walk in the door, put your uniforms on. Stand up. They just a flag. It's an American flag standing in the corner over there. So when y'all come in, represent and know who's who. What they have the checks and balances on these people, and this way you can like I heard the lady say something about they're checking you where she mentions a word what did she say? I can't remember, but she spoke to you like you was like some
Child.
yeah, child or some trash, and she's making I heard the lady when she said something to the effect, so like they're trying to control you, but when you can come with docket the case numbers and everything to these people, especially to each individual in them, and you can keep the checks and balance on them, and you're keeping a record. Y'all are safeguarded by the state and federal laws, and they're starting to put in policies to slow motion y'all out of housing and everything else. This is really what's going on. And so when you come in representing and holding your chest high, we fought for this country, and you reminding them of that, and you work for us. We want to get our checks and balances. Where you been last week? How come you was over there? How much money is being spent? What's the budget? What happened? You keep it like that, and they're going to know that y'all mean business.
So you're absolutely right, and in that way, that in your assessment. So we have New York City government, we have New York State, and we have the federal government. Right. Now, technically, veterans are federal employees.
You got private. You got also private
and private.
Exactly.
As well. Yep. We are technically federal employees. Mm-hmm. We were, in the federal military. We have a Veterans Affairs, which is a federal organization. They provide our health care. They also provide, Veterans Affairs also provides...
Know everything about them. Get all that information.
This is what this is all about. Mm-hmm. Because the the VA provides certain services to veterans with honorable discharges. There's 2 different types of veterans. Ones who are in the VA system, eligible for VA benefits, eligible for VA programs, and then there's others, veterans who may or not have a bad conduct discharge, may have an other than honorable discharge. They're still veterans.
But still don't leave. I was going to say, don't let the policies separate y'all, discriminate y'all. Because sometimes the policies will say, we'll take care of y'all because y'all got honorable discharges. But y'all over here, we're going to treat y'all like y'all went to jail. No, it's not that. You got out there next to a
But
tank,
it is like that.
some missiles, and I get it, but you have to put the equality across the board and demand that they see all of y'all.
On certain things. But it's the same thing if you have a graduate degree or an MBA and you've got somebody who's a high school dropout. Who gets the better?
Well, it's more like a lawyer. It's more like a debarred attorney. Like you have your PhD, you had a license, but you got disbarred. They're no longer an attorney. Like there are consequences for actions, and it's not like that'd be a better example.
Yeah, that's a better example. So we've earned certain benefits. One of those programs is when we come into a new area, we are guaranteed through what's called a grant and per diem program. Grant being that it is granted from the Veterans Affairs. Per diem, they pay $86 a day for each veteran in this program. and we get access to community engagement. We get access to employment opportunities. We get first in line for housing. We're supposed to have good meals, clothes. We're supposed to be taken care of. We're in the VA.
That's what I wanted to say.
And what has happened is that where most programs across the country are run by Catholic Charities, Tunnels to Towers, U.S. Vets, these programs in New York City are run by Department of Homeless Services.
So that's like a that's the downplay. That's the policy. That's the downplay.
So they treat us all.
It's an extra layer of
bureaucracy. As if we are in the gutter homeless.
That's why you got to see their paperwork, because you could go there and order them this week. And I mean, as fast as, listen, if I'm paying taxes still from World War I, and this country is in a deficit, we owe, like, you know what I mean, trillions of dollars, 39. They say. So all of us are caught in. Every human being that lives in America is caught in this money wave. So any corporation that you're in, you've been covered since the First World War, you know, and paperwork that came through a presidency. Y'all are covered. We're going to take care of our boys. You hear this all the way up till now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
which is exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
They're diverting our money away from us to subcontractors, and those subcontractors are using them to supply salaries and justify discretionary funds, and then there's no accountability within the system.
And you have paperwork on all of this stuff.
Yeah,
y'all got.
There's no enforcement until you sue them in federal court.
Yeah, that's the
which is what I'm doing.
But,
that's the enforcement, because once y'all step into that light and put the courts on notice that this is what y'all are doing.
It shouldn't have to go
there.
It
shouldn't have to, but everything
and that's why they have all these agencies, and all these agencies have all these safeguards, and then all these agencies cover for one another, and it's done to make the veteran look crazy, like they were doing to you in the meeting, like not answering a direct question. Why did you cancel my meeting about this very issue before this meeting? Just try to shut you down, you know, and that's what they do.
Need y'all to turn the table and talk to them like
there's
that.
Millions of dollars. There's millions of dollars involved here.
I'm sorry.
Well, then when you try to do that, like they're threatening to call the police and have me removed and all that stuff, and it's like, call the police. So you know, you just have to stand your ground. If I got arrested last night, that would have been fine.
Yeah, that's
to get a better
disorderly trespass, whatever. But
thank you for standing your ground.
For the people to get a better feeling on who Tim is, what I have here, you correct me if I'm wrong. What I have here is that you are a U.S. Army veteran. What does it say Army?
Navy.
I don't know why it says Army.
Okay, so they got a mistake here. You're a journalist and a founder of Forgotten Veterans and the Veterans Justice Project, LLC.
Forgotten Veterans, unbelievable.
His work is focused on exposing systemic failures in New York City's veteran housing programs and building solutions that restore dignity, accountability, and access to resources. Now, my question to you, so they can have a better feeling of where you come from and how you get all these ideas. I would like to know, how old were you when you joined the Navy, and what was your motivation when you joined? And besides that, do you still feel the same way about it?
So I come from a military family. My grandfather was Navy Seabees, which was a construction battalion. In Japan in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam. My uncle served in Vietnam.
Wow.
My sister did 22 years in the Air Force. I have another sister that was in the Army. So our whole family has been in the military.
Wow, that's good.
It was almost a given.
Yeah.
When I was when I was growing up. In 1976, I was 16. Richard Harvey, a friend of ours, work colleague of my dad. I grew up in eastern Arizona in the copper mines. Went to work one night, put a gun in his mouth and blew his brains out. I was the honorary pallbearer.
Right.
It really messed with my head in one way, but it intrigued me in another because I was interested. Why did he do this? What motivated him to do this?
Country let him down.
So I enlisted. So that was in 1976. A year later, I enlisted. I was still 17. I waited until I graduated from high school, and I went into the military at 18. While we were in 1980, 2 years later, I ended up in the Persian Gulf during the Iranian hostage siege. I was there for the rescue attempt that failed. We lost 8 Marines during that operation. Wow. And then we had a Marine who got a bad letter from home. Got a weapon, put it in his mouth, and blew his brains out. And so this was second time. And 4 years later, we had Full Metal Jacket. And if you've ever seen that scene, that's exactly what it looked like. So when I got back from overseas, I was pretty much of a mess. I was PTSD. I didn't know it. I struggled through that for many years. Would I go back in? I would absolutely go back in. I would absolutely do it all over again. I would just do it smarter. Mm-hmm. But I had struggled for so many years after I got out of the military. 2014, I got arrested again for DUI and weed. And while I was in this veterans pod, another veteran was on the phone. I could tell it was a stressed out situation. 2 hours later, he took a razor apart and slit his throat from ear to ear. Another one of the suicides that I was witnessed. And I went home that night. I got out a couple of days later, and I spent 3 days trying to figure out how to kill myself without getting blood all over the place. This is the reality of where I was at. And I ended up spending 44 months on pretrial services. I got sent to prison for 2 years for the weed. And when I got out, I started Veterans Justice Project, which helps veterans get access to their resources, claims, things like that while they're in prison. And then we help them with transitional services as they're being released. I came to New York City because I knew I was struggling. I was afraid I was going to commit suicide myself. I got on a plane with a backpack, and I'm here.
All right.
So I had, when I got here, I worked in transitional services in Phoenix. I knew how I was supposed to be treated. That didn't happen. I got sent to a violent, drug-infested shelter instead of a sober living environment.
That's the design.
And so I jumped on the homeless advocacy bandwagon. And I've been fighting for veterans for the last 3 years to get fair treatment. When they transition into a new community.
God bless you.
I heard you saying that you would do it again, but I've had other oh, by the way, my guys, we have 2 more veterans back there. We will introduce them to you at the right time. So hold tight. My question to you was: a lot of veterans regret being in war. They regret signing up because according to them, it was all a facade. It was all a lie. They don't feel that they fought for a just cause. Do you feel the same way?
I feel that right now. So when I was in Iran, when I was in the Persian Gulf, we had hostages in Tehran. We had in the embassy. Everything that we were doing then was justified. When you're talking to guys like my dad, who was in Vietnam, and my uncles, they have a little different take on that. My grandfather was World War II, the greatest generation. I don't agree with this current situation. I don't agree with what we're doing overseas in the Middle East. I think we need to keep our noses out of there. And I can understand how veterans right now, especially the ones who were post 9/11, not being okay with us going into Iraq, not being okay with us going into Afghanistan. I was living in Croatia when we invaded Iraq. Mm-hmm. And we had, all across Europe where demonstrations at the embassies. I still don't think that we should have gone into Iraq like we did. I feel even less like we should be doing what we're doing. I don't know if I think that the military as a whole, as a platform, as a growing experience, as something to do to get your feet wet, put yourself out in the world, I think that's a good experience. Unfortunately, sometimes we have our officials in Washington and the Pentagon who think otherwise, and then we become their pawns. And that's what I object to.
Well, can I say something?
Of course, go ahead.
Because what I'm confused about is, you just said it right there, is like, essentially, they see you as puppets, right? Just where you're pretty much saying.
Yeah.
Right. But you said you would do it again, though. That's where I'm a little confused. Like, what makes you want to do it again, despite knowing that we shouldn't be in these wars?
I have a great.
But I by the way, I've hats off to you for saying that. That shows your patriotism. I'm just curious on your own individual.
I have a great analogy for that.
Well, I wanted to ask him, but yeah, sure.
Just one analogy.
Microphone.
So, churches all the time, they don't act right, but that doesn't gonna stop me from believing in Jesus. So, like, no church is perfect. No unit, no.
It's not about the building.
It's not about the if they're right or wrong. It's for the actual cause is honorable, like, and it's personal. So, like, that's how I would say that.
For you, right? Personally, for you?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
And I actually agree with him. I feel the same way. It is not, these guys who signed up last year,
they
didn't realize that they'd be going to war
this year.
Last
year, well,
this year. Really.
So
you don't sign up. I met very few military throughout the years who signed up to kill people.
Right.
That's our job. Everything in the military.
Sorry to interrupt you, but who doesn't sign up ready to go to war?
Navy, Air Force.
Oh, word? I didn't know. I'm thinking wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Because those are like.
I'm thinking that everybody that signs up
Correct you.
has to be ready.
No.
Have any expectation of actually seeing boots on the ground and bullets flying in the
Okay.
So,
There's
what
very
you're
few
asking,
combat
did you sign up to
positions
fight, to actually fight.
compared
I
to.
would
All right.
Soldiers, people like combat medics.
Okay.
light infantry,
Because I was under the.
like them, Navy SEALs, Navy SEAL personnel. People that,
You want to give him a seat?
Yeah.
All right, let's bring him up. Come in.
keep going.
We can't hear you. We can't. And he's over here. He's not talking over here. Okay, come. You got this. Pull up. Push it forward.
So
We're bringing up Dino, my peeps. Dino.
I'm just saying, a lot of those people never expected to have sex on the ground. Like my dad, he worked.
Okay, but give us a second.
Vets in the tail end of Vietnam, but did he ever expect like?
Kyle, where you going?
Oh,
Yeah, no, it was him. No. Okay. Yeah, come on. You over there talking. Come here.
So yeah, I mean, I was a Cold War veteran. I was post Vietnam. I was before
Mom,
Desert
be careful with
Storm.
the.
But I qualify for some of these benefits because I'm a combat zone veteran, and you see that we have Vietnam veterans who were actually in Vietnam, and then we have Vietnam era veterans who were during the time of Vietnam, but they may have stayed stateside. When I say that everything that the military does is about killing, everything that they do is about killing. It's all about defense. It's all about war.
I disagree 100%. I disagree.
I'm sorry, Tim.
I disagree 100%. I believe that none of what we do has anything to do with who wins or who loses, because both sides are funded by the same party. And not only that, but the people that do die, all that they're doing is taking our smartest and our bravest, and they're putting them in the most dangerous situations where they will die off first, so that our population becomes increasingly more, I hate to say the word, but now it's socially acceptable. They're retarded.
I would like
you let all the really smart genius people either they go and they fight a technological war, like using hacking and things like that, and then they become the upper echelons of the government, or they die in warfare themselves, like I almost did over and over again. And I know everybody loves to talk about like their war chips, like, you know, I went to the war, but like, I mean, I signed up to go and die in the war. Literally, I qualified for almost every job, and I signed up to go and die. Like, I literally did that. And I lived for whatever reason to be on this, whatever we're doing here, right? And so, like, no, the war was never about winning, and it was never about giving our best and brightest to win anything. If you're going to say that, then at least provide an objective, which you can't. And the reason there's no objective is because there never was an objective. The only objective is for continuous warfare, which is funded on both sides by the same party. You realize that the U.S. government funds the Taliban for every one of them that dies, and for every month that we fight over there, they fund them millions of dollars. But how much do I get for fighting a year over there? What, $50-something thousand?
Why is the U.S. funding them?
So now you want to start asking why questions.
Yeah.
So what are we trying to get at? What are we getting at the heart of? Are we talking about the VA anymore? Are we talking about the war? Let's let him talk for a second. He has been wanting to talk.
I wanted to talk about.
Okay, before you get, I'm gonna get to you in one
question. I think.
Hold it, but we're skipping introducing my guy over here. What is your name and what branch?
What's your name?
No, you.
Dino.
For the people that was listening to you, they don't know who's speaking.
Victor ID, last name EIDE. I was an Army light infantryman, 10th Mountain Division.
Thank you for your
Fought
service.
in Iraq and Afghanistan. Trained in the woods for a few years, sleeping on the ground. And I'm here for some reason. My own unit tried to kill me over and over again in the Middle East, and then they chose me as like a personal security detachment. And I was the only one they chose by name, and I'm only here because Yahuwah like made me stay here. Trust me when I say I did not want to be here. I really was hoping that I would have died in Afghanistan. If you like me to, I could show you all the tattoos I tattooed on myself that I thought no one would ever see them. But I'm here.
Thank you. Dino, talk to us. Give the people your name and your branch, and then air it out.
My name is Dino Celine, 23rd Infantry Bravo. Okay, 82nd Airborne. I was a jump out boy.
Parachute.
Supply man, yes. In Iraq, yes. I did 2 9-month tours in Iraq, yes.
Get your mustard saying?
And that's irrelevant. I want to talk about the homelessness, what's going on with vets right now. What's going on, vets? I live in a tent in the street, okay? I live in a tent because I would not want to be in an SRO.
And I live in my car.
Where people poison you. I've been poisoned in an SRO by some 730 crazy ass people, you know what I mean? And it's just horrible, deplorable conditions, you know, and it's I think another entity should be in charge of us veterans. You know what I mean? Instead of HRA.
Yeah.
Something else should be set forth in our process to get where we need to be in housing. You know what I mean? So, not HRA. HRA, it's just, you know, it's just not, it's not happening because it's redundant, it's repetitive, and it's just doing the same thing over and over again.
The government.
So for those that don't know,
revolving door. It's a revolving door.
Human resources.
Human resources.
So for those who don't know,
we should have a different entity.
New York City.
I could ask
New York City has Department of Social Services. The Department of Social Services is split in has 2 subdivisions. One is Department of Homeless Services. The other one is Human Resources Administration, which is HRA. That is your SNAP, your housing, all of those services that the city provides. That's all under HRA.
Okay.
You have DHS, which is what is Department of Homeless Services, which is just that.
Okay.
Their budget went from $2.3 billion a year, billion.
So these are
when
just
the-
government program, like funding
These are the
programs.
city programs
Okay.
for, so the migrant crisis, their budget went from $2.3 billion to $4 billion a year, which is pretty much where they're at right now. About half the migrants are gone. About 60 of the closed.
You heard on Fox and CNN.
And we,
Wait, you're saying
So-
half the migrants are gone?
yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know
And
that.
they're closing up the hotels.
Well, ICE took care of that.
But so, like what Dino was
That's another
saying,
thing. That's another thing.
when you take somebody, a veteran who has been in war in Iraq and Afghanistan, who suffers from PTSD, and then you throw them in this open bay, away from any of the veterans that they're used to being around, any of the services that they're used to be around, all you do is just make it worse for us. Which is why you find the veterans out on the street and not in the shelters.
What do you think? And I'm asking you, what do you think personally on how we fund a lot of the migrants and not so much the homeless people? Like I've even seen an ELY'S video like where
What
there's a
we're
lot of
saying, wait a second, let me just interject on that. What we're saying is our entity should be something different.
Yes.
Veterans. It should be something different. It should be.
I agree, but that's exactly what I'm comparing. No, I agree.
Whether people that gave their lives to the country should be
HRA,
deported the
not
same way that people that
DHS
came in
and all that.
illegally is.
It should
pretty
be the
ridiculous.
veterans. Some
That's what-
kind of
that's
That's what I'm
veterans
asking the question, though.
That's what the
I'm
argument.
asking
I
these
agree.
questions. Aren't these obvious things to everyone? What
Well, you
questions
guys-
are we trying to ask that are actually relevant? Like, okay,
It's relevant
how do we
because
help,
you're
how do we
you're
help the
veterans.
veterans?
Okay.
Well, that's pretty easy, isn't it? Well, let's see. Down the street at the veterans office I go to, there's like what a 18-story building. Almost all of the rooms are empty. The areas that are set off in each room for us to go in for our tests, like for instance, I need an eye test, which I've needed for a few years. It keeps getting pushed back. But the thing is how long does it take to do an eye test? Okay, so you dilate the eyes in what, like 5 minutes, an hour? I don't know, right? Maximum of 4 hours, right? For me to book the appointment and then to wait 3 months and then for the doctor to not be there and then for me to go back. Like these doctors are getting paid daily, right? So like it's just a matter of numbers. Like it's much more beneficial for everyone, including the federal government, to shut down the VA entirely and to give everyone TRICARE. It's the only logical solution. And then people can seek their own doctors who aren't persecuting them and who aren't doing them harm, right? But we don't do that. Instead, we spend extra billions and billions and billions of dollars upon the VA where we can spout out programs. And yeah, I have the list in my pocket of all the programs they provide, none of which they have provided for me, by the way. Okay, so what are we actually talking about here? We're talking about mismanagement of government funds. And if we want to talk about mismanagement of government funds and then we want to bring war into it, your podcast is not long enough for that. But if you want to get at the truth of something, we can.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that the VA was never set up to help veterans. And the homeless program for veterans is non-existent. If you want to look any further than me, you don't have to. Look, here's my dog. This is the reason I can't stay in the VA shelters, right? They told me either basically give up my dog, who's my service animal, who the VA doesn't recognize as a service animal, and therefore I cannot stay in the homeless shelters. And even if I could, the day that I went to the homeless shelter, they told me that shelter was shutting down. They would not even allow me to go in and to take a shower after weeks of having lived without a shirt. All I had was a pair of pants and a pair of shoes, which he was witness to. And guess what? How many New Yorkers offered me a fucking shirt when it was, I hate to curse, but how many New Yorkers offered me a shirt when I was out literally in freezing conditions using a trash bag with holes in it to keep my dog alive, right? How many of them offered me assistance? One homeless man offered me a shirt. One homeless man offered me a shirt.
That's who usually does it. Homeless
We don't
people
need.
offer you
but
stuff.
I want to keep going though,
You know?
because y'all seem like you're trying to get at the heart of something. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about the VA and the VA assistance? Non-existent. So all right, what's the next question? The wars, false, based on falsehoods to kill what? Untold numbers of what? Like Iranians, Iraqis, Afghans, and mostly Americans, right? So then, like, what do we want to talk about? We want to talk about the fallout of that and the mental illness associated with that, right? Where's the help there? Well, they try to get rid of us as quickly as possible, if you want to know the truth. And if they can't do this through poison and they can't do it through witchcraft, then they do it through other means, which is like to cut off your government assistance or to never allow you to have it in the first place. It took me 14 years to get my government assistance. I drove around Mobile, Alabama, and like everybody there, like Air Force, Coast Guard, Navy, you know what? They all got 100% effing disability, right? You know what I'm saying? It only took me 14 years as an Army light infantryman whose specific job was to go out with a machine gun every day, every night with night vision goggles on and to look for high value targets to kill. It only took me 14 years to get it. I bet he got it right when he got back. You know what I'm saying? So what are we talking about? We're not talking about the same
it actually
system.
Took me
We're talking
35.
about a system that upholds their own and who destroys those who are not within their. And I'm taking up too much time. Go ahead. I'm sure he has stuff to say.
Well,
that's more relevant.
I think
to
something
personal
should be
experience.
formulated. Here we have the.
It is
voices
formulated.
Right here.
See, that's what you don't understand.
We have the structure.
It's formulated in the exact way that it's supposed to operate, which is for us to die.
That's what last night was about.
Okay, I digress.
Whether
Tell
you
us about
agree,
more organization
whether
program.
you like the VA or not, it's not.
I like to
it's
check.
inconsequential, and the reason why is because we have a VA.
We
It's
don't
here.
have a VA.
It's here for us. It's
We
supposed to
don't
be
have,
here for
no,
us.
No, it isn't.
And when we
I had to
have
use the bathroom today at the VA, and you know what? I had to strip down about 20 minutes to get all the metal off my body so that I can go through their security detector. And guess what? The bathroom's not even connected to the freaking hospital, right? Like, he knew it was right there, and I was trying to just walk there. He knew that, and he made me do that to humiliate me before I could go in there. These are the people that are paid by the VA. These are the security people at the VA.
Yes, I know.
Who are not qualified, by the way, to perform security. And even if they were, the apparatus set up in place to provide security is not adequate.
We're not here to argue about.
No, we're here arguing about things that are not even arguable
been
about
here a
because they're not
week.
defensive positions.
You've been here a week.
And I know that it doesn't work. I haven't just been here. I've been at the VA for 20-something years.
I've been at the VA for 40 years.
Our first constitutional right.
He's right. He's addressing my point at least. You're saying something that's just taking everyone off
I
topic.
went to Bellevue last week just because I didn't
Speak
want
to the
to go
mic.
to VA.
There's
Explain
people
Bellevue.
watching and
Explain
listening.
Bellevue. Explain that.
Bellevue treated me great. I mean, they were awesome, and I didn't want to go to the VA.
Yeah.
Because the VA is deplorable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really run.
Why?
VA
Why?
Because
Don't
they
cut
don't.
him
The
off.
VA.
Don't cut him off.
Are you
Don't cut
talking
him
about
off.
VA Borden Avenue?
He's talking.
Or are you talking about the VA
Keep
hospital?
going. Keep
The
going.
VA hospital.
The hospital.
Yes, the hospital itself. Yes, it's deplorable. It's run down, and there's people there that are running the show that aren't even
Don't like
veterans. They don't even have what we have.
And
what
they get
we went
banged
through,
loads of
what
money.
what we experienced. You understand?
Yeah.
I've been
Do
in Iraq.
they get sack lunches there?
And I went to Iraq because of Saddam Hussein went and mustard gassed 5,000
Supposedly that didn't happen,
Sunni Muslims. You know what I mean? That's why I went over there, because it was
He
wrong
worked
what
for
he
the U.S.
did.
government as the
You know what I
CIA.
mean? That's why I joined. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I joined for.
Yeah.
I joined
We all have other
You know?
different reasons why we join. Some join for education.
But I'm saying
some
there
join to
should
kill
be
people.
I'm going for money.
Some voted for the money.
That's not true. We all
There
joined
should
because
be-
we had a common love for the
we
United
should
States of
start.
America, or we would
Listen,
not have joined.
Tim, we should start something where we have our voice heard, where we have an entity of frig HRA and frig all those other things, and we started to get homeless vets
Yeah.
off the street.
Yeah.
Bro, we're doing that right
You
now.
know what I mean?
So-
yeah, but I mean,
We don't need the VA to help us to do that. All we need to defund is to defund them and to get TRICARE.
Well, we need the funds. I mean, we need
Well,
funds.
look,
I
if
mean,
they didn't have the funds to build all these stupid hospitals that nobody's allowed to go into, like if they just converted those hospitals into places where homeless people could live, there would be so many extra floors of empty
Like Beth
places where we
Israel.
could put people.
over on 16th Street, Beth Israel, over on 16th
Literally
Street,
just
they
one of the
closed it.
hospitals. If they just converted it into a
I
room where
went in
people
there
could
and
live on
asked
the
them,
floor.
would they do that? But no, they said, no, we're building that for NYU.
Oh, it's for the doctors. It's not for us.
They
I mean,
and
yeah.
and
I
then
know he's got a million programs.
that's the issue that we have here. We have a VA
Have you ever
hospital.
tried to call one of those
We're
programs?
supposed to also have a VA transitional program. This transitional program is supposed to be, it's not a shelter, it's a transitional program. What you heard last night from the one gentleman that was talking about guys being released, veterans being released from prison. they don't want to let them go into this
did they even go
program
into prison?
because of the drugs and the violence in there. It's not a good place for a parolee.
Drugs that must be working.
No, not
But
at all.
this is the only program
It's a
that
trap.
we have.
It's a trap.
The program is a $5 million program. It's supposed to be for men and women veterans. It's only going to men. And then the men that are supposed to be going into this program, this federally funded program, which has been hijacked by Department of Homeless Services
Yes,
for
and
New York
HRA,
City.
yes.
They've
HRA.
taken that program
He's right. No, he's
and
right.
they've molded it into just another shelter for us.
Yep.
What I was told the other day, which is not what this program is, it's a purely transitional program. Well, you have to have a mental health diagnosis. Well, if you are a veteran and you are just out of the military
PTSD,
and you
right
have to go through a program like that, and you have to, but they make you diagnose yourself for PTSD or whatever, you can forget about working for NYPD. You can forget about working for FDNY. You can forget about working for a lot of these organizations because now Department of Homeless Services for New York City has branded you as either a drug addict
Yep.
or crazy.
All those things are
Or
probably
crazy.
true.
Yeah,
And this is-
7:30.
This
The,
is
the real problem is
For
that
real.
the program doesn't even exist because, I mean, I haven't been accepted into the program. I'm living out of my car. The last thing
living
they
in a
told me
tent.
was that
I'm
I couldn't
living in
have
an
my
army
dog and
tent.
be in the program.
I'd rather be in there than in one of those places. Really.
Look, man, I'm saying that
Yeah.
the
Rather be
program
there.
doesn't even exist for me. This the stuff that
Seriously.
he's talking about doesn't even exist for actual.
Is there at least a program that you can mention that you can say, listen, this one is good?
He's
we
saying
should
that.
start it.
Is
That's
there
what
is
we
there a
need to
program
do.
that you can mention and be
not
like,
been-
listen,
You don't think
over
so?
here they're clean, they're very professional.
Albany.
They're-
First off, are those
Albany-
things even
Albany
relevant?
has the program.
Okay, so he got Albany. He's giving shout outs to Albany.
So-
What do you guys think about Albany?
Albany does have. a
Where
program,
is
but
that?
That's way far up. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. That's it.
But
I'm
I
used to city.
I worked in this program when I became homeless in 2016. I went into the program.
So
Now-
you became part of
9 years.
I ran
those that you're criticizing right now.
I ran the front desk of a successful program in Phoenix
Okay,
for a
first
year
off-
and a
Oh,
half.
so you were one of them.
So if we're going to
Did you
discuss
fix
this,
anything?
why don't
No.
we just discuss
You
what
know
is
why?
the successful
Because
program?
I wasn't.
Seems like a relevant
I was a
topic.
stipend veteran.
Okay.
We had structure. We had teams.
Structure.
I worked the front desk. I got $300 a month to
And
be
that was
the
their
front desk.
offer to
And
him,
this
so
is
he
this is
took it
what
full
this is what we need. They're spending $1 million plus on a no bid contract for security for one veteran shelter. $1 million. These guys are sleeping in the halls. They're smoking. They're
Not smoking. God, please don't say that. The one
There's-
thing that's not even listed in the Bible is a sin.
and
Not that.
So they're not smoking.
and,
in the,
this is
Dude, well,
Smoking everything.
why are
with
we
this
starting
stuff,
with this
but I'm
as the
just saying,
topic?
I
Like,
wanna hear
what-
what he has to say.
so
Let me
don't
hear
we
what
want
he
to
has
discuss what makes a successful program? So are you
Us.
saying that a successful
We do.
program
We
makes
can make
people
a
that
So,
don't smoke and do
at
drugs?
one
Is that what
time-
makes it successful?
At one
Or is it
time,
people that
that
have a place to
program
stay?
was run by Salvation Army. Salvation Army left it up to the veterans to
No, I
run
like
that
the Salvation
program.
Army. I'm not going to say anything
Then
about it.
Department of Homeless Services came in and took it over,
Yep.
and everything went to hell.
Messed it up. Messed it up.
Messed
So
it
what
up.
are we? So what are
Salvation
we
Army
actually?
was a
Do
good
we have a
program.
topic of conversation at this point?
This is the
but it
topic.
wasn't
No,
a
but
good
but you're
program.
just bringing up different organizations, none of which exist,
just said it yourself
none of
that
which
it
are
was good.
accessible to us. Why don't we talk about something that's relevant to actual homelessness in New York City?
We are.
We are.
You think we are? But these
Yes.
programs aren't available to anyone.
No,
There-
because we have to.
Because we have to gain access to it.
We have
Right?
to
How?
instruct them.
So this is what last night was about. This is what this big argument was about. If
They're
a
not
veteran,
relevant to me. They
if a
don't exist to
veteran
me.
goes into the VA hospital and dies, there's
That's
going to
one
be
less
an
than
investigation.
detective.
There's going to
Yeah,
be
right.
hopefully, yes.
there's going to be things that are
Okay.
going to happen.
You really think that?
If veterans goes into a place like St. Albans out in Queens, which is called a community living center, which is a rehab center.
I know where it is.
So you get out of the hospital, you need to recover for a few weeks, you go out there to recover, right? if a veteran dies over there, there's going to be an investigation.
And that helps too.
If a veteran dies at Borden Avenue, in our VA transitional program, they throw them on a gurney, they roll them out, and they're never heard from again.
the same exact thing
was
as
the
that.
problem.
They died, right?
They
And
say
that's
drugs
because
was
it's
the problem.
run by Department of
do.
Homeless Services for the New York
Well, we're not
City.
blaming drugs on the
But
government.
they
That's for
say
sure.
drugs was the problem.
Well,
They say, oh, he was
okay,
a
well
drug
that's
addict,
fine.
he
That's
died
fine.
of drugs.
Drugs is a personal decision. We're not going to bring that into the realm of the government.
Well, it's there.
No, it doesn't matter if it's there. That's a personal decision.
No,
You
it's
can
not.
claim drugs all you want.
Actually,
No, it is.
no,
Actually,
it's
it
not.
always is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not in the program
Don't-
because those are safe.
You saying there's people that are in
sober
the program
environment.
that don't refuse to do the drugs that are in the hallway every day? There are.
I'm telling you
So you're saying
that
it's not
when
a
I
choice,
was,
but it is a
I
choice.
spent a year and a half in a program.
Good,
We
that's not
never
very
had
long.
police there. We never had an overdose.
Why do you need
We nev-
police? People police themselves. People can choose to do drugs or not.
Look
do
at
drugs.
police are at Borden Avenue every day
Good.
for fights.
They don't
for
stop any of the
overdoses,
drugs coming
for
in.
the-
They don't even do that in prison, so I don't know what
And
you're pointing at.
Borden Avenue is veterans only.
It's supposed to be veterans
All I'm saying
only.
is if you're gonna
It's
bring
supposed to
drugs
be
into
a
the equation, that's a
sober
personal decision.
living place. It's supposed to be a sober transition program.
And it is.
They're supposed to be doing
Doesn't mean the drugs aren't
piss
present.
tests. They're supposed to be checking for drugs. They're supposed to be running the dogs through. I'm entitled.
They do do that.
I've earned. Actually, we've all earned
No, we
a
have
sober, safe environment to transition into our community.
Everyday life.
You're acting
I'm-
like transition is
I
the thing that's
transitioned-
possible, first off.
I transitioned into my new community.
You transitioned because you were capable of that.
When I came into New York City, I came with a backpack. I knew what I had because I had worked. I knew what I had available to me because I
like
had
a story
worked
out of a Dickens
the front
novel.
desk of a transitional program where 90% of the veterans left, went into their own apartments, went on to succeed. Borden Avenue, 60% of the veterans, and I don't even think it's that. 20%
You're not
of
even
the
offering
veterans.
outlines for what is successful. and
20%
what's
of the
not.
veterans that leave Borden Avenue are never heard of again. 20%
good thing.
disappear completely. So I don't have to, I'm not obligated to have to sleep next to some guy that's smoking meth all night. Because if you want to smoke meth, go to a shelter. I don't have to put up with it. But
So
what
that's not some type of a shelter as well?
it's not.
I don't understand
It's
how someone
supposed to
else's
be.
meth
Have you
use
ever heard
affects
of
you.
Ward's
as a
Island?
person.
Have you ever heard of Ward's Island or
Tell me.
Castle Grayskull? Have you ever heard of those?
Tell me.
Now we're getting way off
Castle
topic.
Grayskull is on Atlantic Avenue in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
New York?
Okay? And it's one of the worst. I mean, it's like Rikers Island, Ward's Island. I've been in these places.
Don't
Okay,
sound like very bad
these
places.
places they don't sound like bad places, man. You better check them out, dude, because they're.
It sounds like it's bad
I mean,
if you're
he's
somebody
talking
that's
about
really addicted to
smoking meth
using
all
meth.
night.
Yeah.
These guys are like,
And reason,
you know,
and the
got
reason,
guns
and the
in
reason
there
why
and
they
shit.
do that
I mean, it's
is because they're MICA shelters. MICA shelter
reason-
stands
what-
for
Let's address the actual problem.
mentally ill chemical
Let's
Let's
abuse.
address the actual problem. Why do people use methamphetamine? Isn't that actually what we're talking about now?
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No,
yes, we are because
we're
you're
not.
talking about not wanting to be around people that use meth.
touching
Why do people use methamphetamine? Because they don't feel normal.
I don't use methamphetamine.
I'm not talking
so
about you.
I don't have to live with it either.
Look, listen. All I'm doing is I'm bringing up something
Nope.
that actually is relevant to the conversation that we're having that nobody wishes to address, which is why do people feel like they constantly need to use methamphetamine after the war? Okay, because they don't feel normal. They don't feel normal. They're neurodivergent people to begin with. They're people that were probably artists and musicians and things like that, writers, people that are creatives, and they don't feel normal anyways when they don't have some type of substance. Like we're smoking cigarettes, we're drinking beer, we're not using meth. Oh God, would it be so different? We would have more energy. You know what I'm saying? So like, what is the actual problem? Why are people using the methamphetamine in these shelters specifically? Okay, we could say, yes, because the meth is dominantly available and it's cheap. Yes, that's all true. So they choose the meth because they have enough money for that. Otherwise, they would get something better grade like cocaine, or if there were real cocaine anymore, wherever.
Well,
Yes, it is self-medication, exactly.
But
so
the
why
problem-
see, you keep cutting me off, but I was still arriving at my point. Your point was all about VA We can list all the numbers if you want afterwards. I have the flyer that you gave me. None of those programs are helpful. The reason that people use methamphetamine specifically is because it's cheap and it is in abundance, and they can use it for quite a while before they get sick from it. For me personally, I can use it for about 5 days before my ankles swell up. And so I'll stay up for about 5 days at a time. Now, I'm not a meth addict, but I suppose I am a...
and I don't have to live with that.
Did all this addiction?
Okay, but no. So let's check it out. You want to talk? You want to talk about a problem and how people using meth in the
I don't
shelters
have to
is
live
the
with that.
problem. And you didn't have to live with that. And I'm great. I'm glad for you that your life was not that bad that you ever had to turn to that. I'm glad for that. Now, however, there are a lot of other people besides for yourself that have opinions, including myself. And I have been down the road of meth and cocaine, not heroin, but I've been down all those roads, like the shrooms and the acid and all of that. Right? And I can tell you why. I can tell you why not. I can tell you the reason why I wouldn't do those things is if I felt loved by my community. And the reason that I would do those things is because it's the only comfort that I have left. And like, if you want to sit here and you want to talk about veterans, like, I don't want to be around those effing veterans using the meth and stuff. Like, well, why don't you start at the source, buddy? Why don't you start with those people around you who are using the meth and ask them, like, why are you using meth? And they're like, man, because I feel like shit. Because I feel like I don't want to go to sleep.
Then
Because
go
I
to
feel
a
unsafe
shelter.
when I... Shut up! Because I feel unsafe when I go to sleep. And when I wake up, I'm in pain.
Then go to a shelter.
Is that going to fix the issue?
I'm going to say the same thing that I said a second ago, and I'm going to say it as respectfully as possible. Shut up. I wasn't done talking. All right?
You haven't.
You're addressing a problem without addressing a problem. If you want to talk about meth in the community and you want to talk about meth in the shelters, let's talk about why are people using meth in the community and meth in the shelters. Let's not talk about having enough self-control not to use it.
That's right.
I've been in the world for 41 years. I've been in this city for a week.
I've
You
been
want
in
to
the
talk
world
about
for
the cities I've been in here before here? Was I not in New Orleans? Did I not live on the streets in New Orleans?
The real problem is that you have two.
Have to use meth.
There's a lot of
Then there's another problem. There's an underlying problem that no one's addressing.
Go to a
securities.
shelter.
There's a lot of
That's your
boredom.
solution is
that
to go to the
don't-
shelter. They won't allow me in the shelter.
For veterans that don't want to be
So
subjected
get rid of their
to
dogs. They
this,
can't go to the shelter, right?
I should have a place that I can go,
You do.
and they
It's
don't.
called your house.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, you do.
They don't.
I don't.
They don't.
You
We don't
clearly-
have a place that we can
You have a
go
place.
because people like that feel that they can do whatever the hell they want
People like
in our VA programs.
The city allows it.
People like that.
And the city allows it. Not
They
only does the
shouldn't.
city
That's why I'm saying
allow
we should
it,
have our own
We are not addressing
entity
the
Yes.
problem.
as good human beings and with good minds and good, knowledge of things and make our own entity. Frig DHS, frig HRA, and let's get
None
our
of it solves the
program
problem.
together.
None of it solves the
Let's
problem.
get our
Because the
things
underlying
together.
problem is always the
It
same.
solves
Is
the
that people
problem.
want to use
You
drugs.
solve the problem by not allowing it into your home. If you don't want
That
drugs
is
in
the
your home,
solution
don't
for
let them
sure.
in.
That is the solution for
If I don't want drugs in my VA programs, we shouldn't be letting them in. And this is what
Yes.
they're doing. They're taking federal dollars. They're
I
putting
agree
that
with this, what you're saying.
they're funding these violent shelters, MICA shelters.
violent.
They can't kick them out because it's a
Violence
MICA
only
shelter,
exists
so
on a
you
level
can
that people
use
allow it
Makes them
to
violent.
exist
I
on.
was trying to
what
tell,
makes them violent.
I was
the
trying
drugs
to tell
make them violent.
Mount tonight.
What's
Do you know?
What about the
Drugs
people
do not
that
make people
So the
violent.
people,
Anybody
people are
know
high,
what
they're
730
getting, they
means?
get violent.
Depends on
There's a lot of
Does anybody
Yeah,
know
they're
what 730 means?
And what they do, is they go
I wanna ask
after
this question.
the more
Yes, you guys
vulnerable
do the
veterans.
whole-
There's veterans in there that are in their
But
age.
it's not just all vets. It's also some.
Supposed to be all vets.
Oh, all vets.
And
Okay.
then
gotcha.
these programs don't even exist. But
But this is the problem that we have with this,
They don't
and that was what that argument was about last night.
that's exactly what you
Veterans should not be dying in these programs. They're safe, sober environment. It's
should be
one
our own
program. One program
All
for
we have to do is
veterans
to be Christians and
want
offer
to
people places
be
in their homes.
safe and sober
That's how we solve
while we
all of the
transition.
government problems.
My
is that we
apartment
do
So
that.
you're saying like some
awesome.
ruin it for others is what you're
No,
saying.
also-
You're-
works.
the city
is
is
it-
allowing these
No, the
people
veterans themselves are doing the
ruining-
drugs. The ones that are
veteran-
doing the drugs.
But
though.
the city is allowing them to do it because the city is locking them down in a virtual prison. That's what Borden Avenue
Saying,
is.
like, in order to solve all the problems,
so-
all we have to do is to get rid of all the drug addicts.
And like I was
The
saying
people that
last,
became drug addicts by serving the country. So people
help the
people that
drug
became drug addicts because they served the country and they feel in such a state of pain. The way that we solve the problem is that we get rid of those people. We already tried that with the vax, buddy. We already got rid of 85%. It's just a matter of what time period are we going to die now, right? We already did that. So what are we saying? Like, how do we get rid of the other 15%? The neurodivergent that didn't take the vax that are using possibly up to methamphetamine, alcohol or cigarettes, or up to methamphetamine. So how do we solve that problem? Instead of solving the problem by seeing who we can get rid of and who we can exclude from programs, why don't we solve the actual effing problem? I didn't curse at least. And why don't we address why? Does anyone ever stop to think about that? Why does someone like me?
What do we need to do? What are we supposed to do as veterans? I'm asking you a question because you just asked why. You asked why. I'm answering. I'm asking you a question. What are we supposed to do with those who refuse to get sober? What are we supposed to do with guys like you?
I was about to respond. All right. Okay. So guys like me, well, first off, I don't use meth. I guess I should clear that up. But I don't mind using it because it makes me stay awake. But I don't use it because of self-control. What do we do with people that refuse to get sober? Well, I suppose we would start by addressing why that they don't feel like they should be sober.
That's not an answer.
You don't give up.
That's a feeling.
What the hell is that?
Answer.
You keep trying.
I think it was the start. I think it was the start of an answer that I never got to finish.
There's people that have been in and out the door.
It was an honest answer.
NA and AA all their lives, and then one time they get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I can,
So you don't need those triggers.
if I can continue about why
no,
this
you
is
don't
not an
need
answer.
those triggers, but you still give them a fighting chance.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to.
Absolutely.
There's
No. Just because you ran a machine gun against people that you never voted to fight against, just because you did that, don't mean you can come back and smoke some meth and stay up for 2 days instead of 1.5 days and then sleeping. No, now you're a problem to society. You need to be out there running that wheelbarrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got time to stop and smoke meth, something's wrong with you. Why are you even doing that in the first place? Why don't you feel just like everybody else? Why can't you fit into the mold? Why do you feel different than everyone else? Just because you were trained to be a killer, and then now there's nobody left to kill, and so now you're a Ronin, a shinobi, a warrior without a master, and so your master becomes drugs. Well, we need to get rid of you. You need to not be here.
That's not the solution. Getting rid of people is not the solution.
It was a joke.
That's a
No, but I'm
See, he's calling it a cop out here. See, you guys, it kind of went above.
That's
It was kind of
that's a go-to excuse.
I was always told to never give up.
It wasn't.
I ran a gun. I did this in the military.
How many people did you kill?
None.
How many people did you kill?
I wouldn't care to talk about it.
Then shut the fuck up.
Why?
Because you don't have that on your conscience.
How many people did you kill?
0.
So
And I'm not talking shit to the fucking people who did kill people.
Why do I have to?
Shut the fuck up. You didn't kill nobody.
All right.
You don't have that on your conscience.
Get out of my
What
face.
is on your conscience
I know.
is the people
They
who
do
shot
this.
themselves
These
in the
two,
head.
man,
But
this-
you never had to do it yourself. So you don't get to judge that.
And by the way, for the record, I don't smoke meth, but if somebody had a bowl right now, I probably would hit it. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't. But I think I'm part of the problem because I'm not part of the establishment
People don't want to say
picture
So
voice.
we have no say because we didn't kill somebody.
No, I didn't say any of
no,
that.
you just don't have the same fucking problems, and you don't get to say that.
That I would say. That I
have no
would
say.
say.
This
you don't
Then
get to
what are you
say
saying?
that.
Wait,
These guys, you just see how
Here we
these two
go.
have little
Below
arguments
the
and
belt
they go on.
about what do we do with people like you who refuse to get
So
off
the only
drugs.
people that you give a
The problem is there were 17 failures before any of us became addicts. And you're starting about at the 15th failure.
And like, how many times
We
have I been
to
an addict and
derive
recovered
the
from it?
14 other failures that the institutions keep from us totally. And this is why they do it, is to keep us arguing and blaming each other.
You're the only one arguing.
When there's a
You're right. At the heart of all of this is
I was on drugs.
division.
everybody's arguing.
So have I.
For what I've done.
We've all had addiction
have I.
problems.
over there.
Okay,
So have I.
you solved yours. He couldn't solve his.
just, you know.
He can't solve his. I solved mine. They killed people. We didn't. We are not in their seats.
No, man, he's a
So what I'm saying is there is a conglomeration of institutions
Navy SEAL.
who have their shit so
killed more
together.
people.
like so ordered that we have to follow that is an impenetrable bureaucracy. And until we stop and say no more, well, like, let's take over the VA. Just like the VA was started. Veterans went to Washington, D.C. and took over the fucking White House.
TRICARE.
You ain't getting it back.
Disassemble the VA, give everyone TRICARE in the solution.
And that's the only solution left. Working with these agencies,
they can go deal with their mouth problems.
Every single one of them.
We need our own agency.
We have to do it ourselves for veterans, because every time you make
but the problem is look at you.
Form a board.
You're screaming at people.
So what?
You're screaming at other veterans.
So what? Get over it.
No one in their right mind wants to work with you.
I don't give a shit.
So you can have all the programs that you want for
There's
you.
no programs available that
can't
work.
get anything done because of crap that you did last night.
What?
Screaming at people.
Well, what actually got you to be able to finish your sentence?
What? Do you think I need you?
They weren't going to see. This is what I'm talking about.
You think I need you to fight? I don't need you to fight my battles. I didn't need you to fight my battles.
They have us so confused.
I didn't need you to fight my battles fight with amongst themselves. I didn't need you to fight my battles when I got to New York City, and I didn't need you to fight my battles last night.
Tim, nobody ever heard of you until I went to that city meeting with you.
Bullshit, dude.
No, absolutely. You had no traction. So we all have to play a part. We all have to play a part.
Dude, I was doing stuff.
We all have to play a part. That's not the point.
You haven't met half the veterans that I've worked with.
I don't need to meet the veterans. I know the system.
You think that you
I know the system.
Me who I am?
No, I didn't say that.
Shit.
Nobody said that. I don't need to meet the veterans.
First off,
nobody knew you before me.
Before that city council meeting?
What meeting?
The one I came in and I had a black eye from the fight, from being switched from shelter to shelter to shelter, and I was your living proof right there, going, look at him. Yes, whatever. We've had this conversation, and
Lamar Wheeler told me that they weren't going to put you anywhere.
They weren't going to put me anywhere.
They didn't give a shit about you.
Exactly.
I thought we were talking about
the spectacle of it got it hurt.
Can we back this up a second? Y'all can finish this on the train or whatever. Y'all do this every time we talk. Y'all have your little screaming moment. But we're on a podcast. Like, they obviously invested a lot into the microphones.
You keep working with the snakes that are fucking with
us. Stop.
And thinking they're going to fix us on our side. They're not.
If you're going to be chill.
I never said that.
We got to get with Long. We got to get with this person.
Y'all should switch up.
What we need to do is stop yelling, and we need to get together as
I like all your
minds
and
good people and good
I wouldn't do it.
And
you know why?
Yes, we can't
where we can make our own DHS or an own HRA and fight for our rights.
And you know why I would never do that?
So the new topic of discussion.
You know why
how do we do that outside?
I wouldn't do that because I've been part of a very successful program run by professional people who are not.
We're getting tired of the professional people.
The city. We need to get the program out of the city.
You still have no idea how much money they sucked off of us.
Billions and trillions.
Just because it worked, you have no idea how much they still sucked off of us and profited from it.
And neither do you.
I'll say at least double.
Good mind.
You know,
I'll say at least double. If that money went directly to the veteran,
if you think it's that amount, it's probably 20 times that.
If that money went to veteran-run organizations,
who's going to give you any money?
Why do we care?
I can
we didn't ask for money. None of us asked for money.
Who's going to give you any money?
No, none of us asked for money.
I can get donations, man. I can get donations for us.
This weekend, one of the guys last night was from Tunnel to Towers.
Tunnel to Towers I'm not identifying with here.
Putting together a GPD program out in Nassau County. I talked with the guy 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
He says they've been trying to get a program in New York City like that.
But DHS
has been blocking them.
Yeah, because they want
it's the layers of institutions.
It is the layers. Yeah, that's exactly right there. But if we start our own entity, our own program, our own thinking, and our own knowledge, we will get.
I thought that was called civilization.
You already had it.
That was called civilization.
You already had it.
But we have to stay with it.
It away.
Yes, every time we do it, they take it from us, and then they copy it.
Give up.
And then they run the money through that and control it.
600 GPD programs across the country.
God, give me the number for
like
every one of them. I bet by the time I call 600
or some crazy number like that.
Yeah.
All successful programs.
No.
You know how many of them are run by a Department of Homeless Services?
Yes.
One.
Because New York City wants to be in control.
Everything else, all of them are run by Catholic
And they're all
Charities,
successful.
Tunnels to
But they're not all
USF.
successful.
Well, you also got to figure
They have the same
we have a
problems,
new mayor now.
just
You
on
know
a
that,
different
right?
magnitude.
We have a new mayor now.
All those
A real
GPD
good
programs.
Something, or we might
Believe it or
not.
not, we have a real good mayor now that will hear us.
I mean,
That will
hopefully,
hear us.
hopefully.
Go to him.
But what we saw at the city council
Programs
hearing
never
the other
change.
last
They never
week
change.
was not what we're supposed to be hearing. And if you want to cue that up, where we have city council members telling us that the VA, our VA hospitals are absolutely disgusting.
Well, they are.
Those people have to leave. We have to have a city council that
feel like
wants
this is
to
a very
listen to the
redundant
veterans. That's what that argument was about.
Well,
now.
the VA and the city are in cahoots.
No, I know.
I haven't been invited to a single
46
meeting,
Stop talking the entire
a single
podcast.
round table.
the VA
out of the 100 that she's put together. This
That's
committee.
The VA is supposed to be holding DHS accountable. The VA refuses to do that for us. How many reports have we made to the VA and said, if anybody receives federal dollars, you are required to make sure they don't retaliate against us?
We're going to have to go to federal court over it.
Exactly, but we shouldn't have to. The VA has its own mechanisms.
Apparently, we're going to have to.
Yeah, but that's
We have our own
because they have us so
boards. We have our own
separated.
entities. We have our-
If we had 50 people, 50 veterans walk into there, we could take over that VA. We don't have 50 because we're so separated because that's how they blame us. Oh, it's your fault. You didn't do this. You didn't do this. You didn't do this. It's not us standing up and saying, no, it's you. You are categorically wrong and we're not leaving till you fix it or you fucking kill us.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that.
Exactly. That's why. See, when I had to sit at the door when I was naked, blind, and shoeless, and it was 40 degrees outside after I was set up by Borden Avenue getting attacked by a social work director, and I had no clothes. The cops wouldn't go up to the 14th floor where they have clothes for homeless vets. And I said, you know what? He lied to me. And he said, I don't have a key to that door. And I have to say, if there's a hostage situation, you have to have a key to every fucking door. So if you want to take out your gun and shoot me, this will be the hill that I fucking die on because I'm not leaving this place till I have shoes, sweatpants, and a sweater. Because it's 40 fucking degrees, I'm blind, it's raining, and it's cold outside. No veteran should have to do that, and anybody who stands up for a VA who has done that has no fucking clue what's going on. Zero. There is no good thing about that VA. Because at that point, when they're willing up to give up that type of life, anybody who is halfway normal, they can get a service.
Every time that
But
you
they
go
are
in
there.
that VA, you act just like this.
Because I'm treated just like that.
Again, he's the only one.
Because that narrative, because yes, you have, and you've been there for it.
No, you put on a show.
No, absolutely
No,
not. We
I've
don't even
never
remember.
known
You don't
that
even have the
on the
memory
show.
I
for
know
it.
this man.
Sorry.
Not
Matt does not
We
put on
can
a
go
show.
into that
I beg
later,
to differ.
but you
Not put on a
right
show.
after we leave, you go, yeah, I seen them gaslighting you. I was here the last time. That was the same
Not a
doctor,
show.
and I remember them saying you could go up.
Always.
Now this time you can't go up. It's different
Hey, you
every
already
time.
small asshole.
They do that to me every time so they can increase their narrative of my aggression flag because how I'm reporting it when I say, oh, what's your license number? Because, see, all the workers at the VA have a state license.
already.
And that's where the accountability is. And when you ask for that,
you owe me
then
that.
you're marked. But they won't
No,
give you
gave me
that.
my cane back.
The very first time this happened was over a bag lunch.
Oh man, do you think those doctors eat those lunches? The fucking
The emergency room didn't have it. Homeless vets
I bet
healthcare
they
didn't
don't.
have it.
Someone tells me they
I go
don't.
on an elevator and the guy has 3 bag lunches and I'm like, oh my god, where did you get a bag lunch?
Was it the
He
fake
goes, it's
cheese?
on dialysis, floor 5. I go to that social
With
worker. I
the
go, look, I'm
bread?
homeless.
Oh, man. I love to throw
I've
those
had
away.
I've
My
had
dog
doctor
can eat 'em.
appointments all week. My shelter doesn't replace my meals. I'm like 10 meals down for the week,
Dude,
and I feel weak.
I'm hearing.
I heard.
Excuse,
Hold on. I heard that you guys have bag lunches. She goes, those are assigned to everybody already. I go, ma'am, I seen somebody
Shut
with
up.
3 bag lunches.
Fire
So are
next
you
time.
lying to me,
No,
or are they
I
really?
hear-
Did that guy get assigned 3 bag lunches? So she
feel
calls the
my money
police on me,
favors.
and I have to do the same thing. I have to get in a corner, and I have to say, it's either you get me a bag lunch or you fucking wheel me out of here dead. There is no solution except accountability, federal court, and us uniting and realizing.
You really think
And I'm
that's-
sorry
any
for
of these
saying
things are
that, but that
possible?
was a low blow when
Right.
you said, "What do we do with people like you who can't give up the addiction?"
He
If
literally
you
called
haven't,
it
if you
down.
haven't
And I literally would
gone
pass a
through
message
that,
right now from
like
that place.
you can't say that because
He
we have
literally
to
called
account
tonight.
for the most vulnerable and
I'm
the
not.
and the most traumatized. Yes,
He
we do.
literally
No, we
said I
don't.
was-
Then
he
fuck
said I
you.
was doing it, and I
I don't have to put up with that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Then you're one of the bitches that leave people behind.
Well, good.
Then fuck you.
well, good. You just say well, good.
I don't have to put up with that.
Well, what you said,
yes,
there's
you do.
nothing.
Yes,
There's
you do.
nothing in
yes,
me
you do.
that because I'm a veteran
Then-
that I have to put up with bullshit from other
You
veterans.
mean other people that have behavior that's not
There's
similar to
nothing that says that I have to put up with that
I
bullshit.
think America says
Nothing.
That's
But there's
insanity.
everything
That's
that
insanity. Yeah,
you
it's
should
called
do.
fucking brotherhood, Tim.
I show up.
It's
United
called.
with
Yeah,
us.
it is.
I show up.
But it's
That's
everything.
what I
think
do.
literally
Yeah,
that's the
Tim,
definition
it's
of-
everything.
I don't have to
Be
put up
one
with
with
it,
us.
all
but at least
different.
I show.
I see what you're saying. There's the space carved out for you, and they're not keeping that space sacred. Because they're not keeping accountability. So
I
yes,
agree
you're
with that.
right. You
He
don't
is-
have to
he
put
is
it up
right.
with it in that way, but
Yeah.
you have to put it up
He
in the
still
fact
has
that you
the
can't
experience
deny
people
us
that
as
are
brothers.
not
That's what I'm
examples.
saying.
He still has the experience. People that
You
have
you
problems.
don't have to put it up because they should be providing that space legally by congressional order. You're right.
Yes, he is.
But you can't deny us saying I don't have to put up
still
with
have
veteran
problems.
shit because that's why you do what you do. You advocate. So you
He's
like
acting like his problems are not bad and like ours are.
no, he knows
like
his
his
problem.
problems
He
are not
knows.
problems,
He
but
knows.
our
No,
problems are
no, no.
problems.
He does. What he's
Anybody-
saying.
I know one thing for sure. If anybody comes in this world and tells me they ain't got a problem, they must be Jesus Christ.
What he
And
what
I know
he's
that's
saying-
not who's sitting across from. I know that's not who's sitting across from me right now.
What he's saying.
That's all I got to
what
say
he's
about
saying,
that.
and then this is the problem: is that safe space that they're supposed to be keeping sacred for us to be sober, have activities,
these are all-
get our minds
these are
back.
all great
That's
goals.
where they are dumping all of their money
agree with all of
into, and these subcontractors are diverting the funds. Putting us environments like that, and there's like 4 different ways where they can
Setting us
take
up
our
for failure.
grievances and our complaints
I could sit all day
and
and
make
talk
them
about it,
null
but
and void,
it all
never
comes to the same
report
thing.
Let
them,
me ask you a
That's
question
the
on
end.
that.
and no matter
Let me ask you
And
guys
he
a
is like
question.
endorsing them.
If you're in an area, if you're in a house,
And he's gonna say something.
and you have roommates or whatever, you're in a house, nobody gets high,
Nobody gets high. That
and
sucks.
are you going to feel compelled to or not?
Well, I hope
less.
at least
I
the
mean,
first-
environment.
If nobody's
around,
getting high
it's
around
less-
you, do you
Yes.
feel compelled
Yes.
to get high?
Yes.
every time, yes.
If I feel
Yeah,
like
nothing that I
Yes,
will do.
environment. If it's available and around, if people who have overcome
I'm
addiction,
talking about weed. I'm talking
it,
about heroin, meth.
it can lead back into
we know what
addiction,
you're talking
and,
about.
and that's why they have that built in. So it's the accountability of them
Stop.
not.
No,
See,
no.
they're required to do drug
No,
tests.
No.
in the
Well,
VA
that's the last
program.
one.
Yes, they don't do that.
Where the-
You can buy some
they
too.
don't do that. It's
Yeah,
important.
at Borden Avenue.
It's supposed to be a sober
And
environment.
who's passing them
I didn't
along?
bump.
The VA
Are you
liaisons.
taking them?
The VA liaisons. If they didn't pass that, if they
I'm
required
just
Borden to
saying,
do
like,
drug
it's all
tests,
my cigarettes.
and if
We're
they,
going to get them into court, and they're going to have to answer for it.
it's
But
like
I don't have
Dude,
to
he's
put up
just
with
making
that.
you're
because yes, that you're right. You shouldn't have put that.
Why
with-
should I have to put
with-
up with somebody
He's not
threatening
putting
me?
up with any of these things.
Yes,
He has a
then they
house.
do
Threatening
that
to
too.
kick my ass if I don't pay them.
Yeah.
Why do I have to do
And
that?
those are the veterans who, and that's why we were saying there's a difference between.
That happened
at Borden,
Yes, and that's the difference
They put
between.
me,
trying to
they put
extort
me in
you,
the open bunks.
veterans.
This guy, I was
Yes,
supposed.
those
I
were
got-
the dishonorably
I got
discharged
accused-
veterans.
I got accused of stealing some guy's
And
money off of his locker. So they made me pay not to kick my
He's
ass.
been making up stories.
And that went on for like 2 weeks until I finally got put into the cubicle. And I said, look I'm a GPD veteran. I'm supposed to be in the cubicle. I'm the one who got the cubicles in Borden Avenue. And she goes, while you're in the open bunks, you're not in the GPD program.
See, they put it with that's
So
the city program where they
when
can
I
put
went to the Veterans
everybody else.
Task Force and I
don't know
forced
what
them
they're
to get
talking
the
about. They're talking
cubicles
about
in there,
benefits on
it was
every
because not because to make us all even. It was because they were punishing veterans in the VA system that they didn't like by putting them in the open bunks.
Because you made complaints. Because you said, this is the standard, this is not what's happening. So they go, okay, we're going to move this guy's bunk next to a bunch of fucking dangerous people, and they'll control them. And that's how they wear you out, is either by threat or
You're
direct.
rocking the boat.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't want you to rock the boat.
Yeah. No.
They don't want you to. They don't want
They
you to
want
rock
you
that
to do
boat.
your
Right
2
after
years
the rock
there
the
under the
boat.
VA program, under the GPD program, because you get it up to 2 years, and then they kick you out. And
I
you got
waited-
kicked out into an
waited in
SRO or whatever.
I
the
waited
hell
in
they
an
were.
SRO for 3.5 years, had 7 city FEBS vouchers, and they all ran out. And I'm not going to tell you anything, but the color of my skin all wrote it. All wrote the whole story because every
the shelter
time I
system is
went to
outrageous.
real estate agents and paid money for them to set me up housings to look at,
And the case
apartments,
managers will
and the
purposely
case
destroy it.
managers were never there. They were out on assignment. But
They always had an excuse. On a
you
meeting.
take another person of a different color, and they were getting apartments like crazy.
And
I was in an SRO
and a lot
for
of them,
3.5 years.
and a lot of times,
I mean, it was
they're
like crazy.
my sister's friend
Yeah, yeah,
or my
yeah.
cousin's buddy.
They make excuses.
So, you know,
And he can't
they
go to the
come in.
VA. He can't go to the
The
VA.
other day,
And he
he
can't-
came in for 3 weeks. That was 7 months ago. He's still at Borden Avenue.
I mean, it's,
They told him, you just go to Borden for 3 weeks while we get your apartment ready. That was 7 months ago.
But
And
I
now
want
the
to tell you
apartment's
something
gone.
also, is that you don't have to be in an SRO or any other place. You can be on the street and still get a city FEBS voucher.
City FEPS, but not HUD
No,
vouchers.
no, they won't. You have
Yes,
to
they
be.
have to. Yes,
They do
do.
not.
They have to.
They tell you.
Yeah, they
Try
absolutely
to make
have
it. Try to make it happen. It's the same
And in
procedural
actuality, you can
administration
do the
stuff.
HUD VASH.
You have
do
to
the
go
HUD
through it.
VASH if you're on the street.
You have to go through
You
a
can
whole.
do it if you're on the street.
You have to go
but
through
you have
home
to go
base.
directly to the VA up in the Bronx is the best one to go to. I'm working with a veteran right now.
You're saying now that you
The Bronx is, it's beautiful, the Bronx, but I just don't, I've been
No,
here
no, no,
twice.
No, just the VA. Just to use the VA HUD VASH.
The voucher applies to all of New York.
Because they process
know
you
that.
through
Okay.
But
much
the
quicker.
VA, see, that meeting last night is actually the culmination of the problem because those people are strategic people set who are a part of all these other organizations, who are supposed to be keeping the accountability. And that meeting is just a jerk off session for them to tell each other they're doing a good job. That's not their job.
on the ass.
That's why it only happens once a month or once a year in every borough is because they all have full-time jobs at these agencies who are supposed to be helping veterans and they're veterans themselves.
It was like a pat on the back thing.
It was a big pat on.
Yeah, it's
It
them
was.
going, look at what we've done.
Yeah.
And if you look at the meeting
haven't
last
done
night,
shit.
they didn't accomplish anything. They didn't give any clear directives. They didn't put anything forward for the next meeting. They didn't even address any points that they could address. What they do is they address policy that they have no control over and then debate it amongst themselves and never get anything
Oh
done.
my gosh, I never.
And then say you're a whack job and try to kick you out like they did my fellow
tell me
brother
that.
last night. No, for real. And he wasn't about to touch
You
it
asked
at all. I
DVS
got it.
director a direct question. Why did
know
you
every
cancel?
single one of those people.
Why did you cancel a
That
meeting
little
with me?
heavyset guy.
Everybody
We're
at the
going to
table.
talk over you. We're going to shut you up. We're going to sit you down because I'm on
That's
camera
basically
and
what they
I don't
did.
want to answer that question.
That's basically
And that's
what
why
they
I
did.
stepped in is because no, you're going to answer the question
Always rely
because
on
that
outsiders.
meeting was specifically for tonight's meeting. But she can just cancel when she wants. She doesn't have to give an account. She doesn't have to do anything. And she's the one who's representing veterans.
And you know what? There was only 2 combat vets in that room last night, right? Me, right?
Oh, you, him,
And
him?
the
Oh,
other
no,
lady,
Vic.
the lady that was there that she said that she was a combat vet. She was on the board.
I'm on.
She really went true.
Guys,
too.
That's Donnie Smalls.
I would like at least.
I mean, that's really, I mean,
Everybody else loves
guys,
veterans.
one second. I would like,
story.
guys, one second. I would like at least 5 minutes for my guy over here. He's been listening to you guys for the next 40 minutes, and you had not let him say a word. I'm pretty sure he has a lot to say, but he doesn't want to interrupt you. So let's listen to him. He's not a veteran. He's an outsider looking in.
But he's been.
Can I speak? Can I speak, guys?
So what do you?
Yeah. Can I speak? Can I speak? Just give me 1 second. You're gonna have the whole night. But he's not a veteran. He's an outsider.
It's fine.
Looking at you guys, speaking about the situation. Can I speak? Okay. Okay, no, you good, you good. So he's looking outside in at the situation that you guys are breaking down. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people that are watching because this is live, and as well as myself, I'm wondering what is his opinion on what the issue is. Does he have an answer or a solution for them to get along better, or for them to can I speak, or for them to find the way and the path that they are looking for? Let's give him 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, guys. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Not even 5 minutes. Like
2
minutes.
Yes, because he has to go too. He has things to do. So let's
he's gonna stop him.
let's let the people hear what he got to say. Go ahead, Brian.
So, kind of going back to you, you mentioned how you would go ahead and still go to war, and that's something to me that's something to me that's I could tell you're patriotic. I'm pretty patriotic myself, but I definitely wouldn't enlist if I had the choice.
Given today's knowledge.
Well, yeah, just considering everything.
Pre-YouTube.
Sure, YouTube.
YouTube, we didn't know.
Fair enough.
9/11, we didn't know.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. And 9/11 is something I just, I'm sure there's conspiracies about it.
But it wasn't available to the public at that time. Right?
For sure.
Okay,
For sure.
let's keep going.
Now, another thing that I'm thinking about, what you guys are all like agreeing, disagreeing with, is these different programs. I definitely do think, all these different programs that I asked about that you guys are talking about.
I haven't seen them.
Right. But just regarding all these programs, you guys agreeing and disagreeing with them, I simply think, and I think we should put veterans in a pedestal, but reality is we're not doing that. Reality is we're putting, migrants. That's why I mentioned migrants. We're putting migrants over veterans. That's the reality.
I think migrants are great, and I think veterans are great.
Okay, but yeah, the reality is, I see
migrants make our food for cheap. They allow us.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not anything against migrants. I'm one myself.
I don't think anyone needs to be on a pedestal except Christ. But
Vic.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Christ is king. But yeah, that's just the way I see it. I do think you guys should be in a pedestal, but reality is reality, and you guys are discussing all these different programs. The way I look at it is like, fuck the government. I'm more libertarian, fuck the government. I'm going to do my own shit. But I understand you guys. I'm not a veteran. You guys are a veteran.
They're different.
You guys, of course, you guys feel like there's something to be owed. And I definitely, I get that. I would probably think the same if I was a veteran. And that's all I really got to say.
So, no, Vic, stop. Thank you. So we are put on a pedestal. And the money is there. What it is it's so compartmentalized and truncated that there's no way to track the efficacy of it, and they always have an excuse.
Yeah.
And procedurally and administratively, they can get away with basically stealing about 51% of what 49% of what we get, and then we get this leftover trash, and that's why the environments and the things that are needed, like activities, like these GPD programs, they're supposed to be taking us out to baseball games and ice creams and movies and getting us out of our head so that we can focus on our mental health. But they lock us in this room that like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a big
freaking prison
construction thing, and the noises. Every time somebody closes their shelf, bang, you can hear it echo everywhere. So the money's there, but because they subcontracted out, we served the country. The VA is supposed to administer these services. What the VA did was get a law passed so they don't actually have to administer the services because government agencies are not efficient at doing whatever, so they think private companies can do it better. These private companies, once you learn the system, you can see where these loopholes are. Adjust your budgets, like the food. The discretionary spending at Borden Avenue for the year is $897,000. The food budget is $459,000. So you're telling me your discretionary budget is more important than twice as important as the food you feed. Now, you try to go bring that issue to somebody. There's nobody to bring it to. There's nobody to go. The veterans at this shelter don't care about their discretionary building and want 2 times better the food. Then there's $1 million contracts for security at every, so DHS. So you got all of this money in there, and it's supposed to be infrastructure to support the veterans, but then because they don't enforce their own rules, this is Tim's point, is they can smoke meth and crack right next to, but then they've gotten all of this money to provide a safe, sober space. And no, he shouldn't have to put up with it. And I'm sorry about that. That's all what I was saying. You were right about that, but I was saying you have to still put us up with us as brothers, veterans. That's it. That's what I was saying.
Vice versa. Now you agree with me.
I heard. I was still in that space is for people who are in recovery or have been recovery or in transition, and they don't protect that space. But that's where they say all the money is going, and then if they don't use that for the infrastructure, then everything just falls apart.
And that's to that point. So when I was at the VA the other day, I was told that the VA has halted funding that program.
And they lied to us
because of that.
They lied to us last night at the meeting because, see, there's a city and a VA program there. The city representative of DVS says, we don't know what's going on. Well, if you don't know what's going on from the VA side, what's going on from the city side? Oh, we don't know. Yeah. Well, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah.
The city and the VA have both stopped sending veterans there, and they damn well know why. And it started with Tim's advocacy, and then they went way overboard by I was making these complaints, and I didn't realize it was right in grant grading season. Like, they have to make a grade, and I was jeopardizing a $20 million grant by making these reports. And the social work director at ICL, she used to be in a gang. There's another person there who was in a gang, like her old set. He had a nephew there. He got his nephew in there from Florida. They attacked me in the bathroom, and because there was 2 of them, they had a witness. I put one to sleep. He dropped on the floor and he hit his head. But because they had a witness, I had to go through felony charges. They kicked me out of the veteran shelter. They disabled my city FEPS. They sent me out to the most dangerous shelters around, ones that have police stations in them, insanely dangerous. Luckily, I know how to stand my ground and go, no, this is not medically adequate. I'm a veteran, and I'm going to live in your hallway and be a fire hazard, so you have to transfer me. So only because I know how to work their own system against them was I able to save myself. Now, I'm in the top, percent of like analytical thinking and figuring out these problems. These other vets who like these social workers who they're supposed to trust, who come to them.
You're saying you're woke and they're not.
No, I can see the lies. Like I know the policy and procedure so much that when I hear a social worker say something, I go, I know it's bullshit. So, it's bullshit. So everybody, all these other veterans, like, you shouldn't have to go spend hours and hours researching policy and procedure. But if you do, you can hear these social workers are just a bunch of liars. Like, social workers are like one of the biggest plagues on society there is.
You think they're just bullshitters?
They are absolutely bullshitters.
They are protecting.
They're there to make their little $15 an hour.
Okay, but let's not jump into stereotypes, because there are a lot of social workers that might be falling into the category that you're talking about that do not realize.
Well, stereotypes.
Yeah, they don't realize it.
The majority. You're referring to the majority.
Yeah, so let's say
so there's exceptions to the rule.
They don't necessarily realize
they're not conscious of what their role is in it.
That's what I was like.
But there's a pattern of, you go talk to a social worker.
Well,
they'll hear you out. They'll validate you. They'll give you some hope, like, what if this, what if that? And I'm like, no, what if you fucking followed policy? What if you made a report as a social work, duty bound, that there's abuse going on and retaliation? No. Okay. What's your license number? Because I know you.
I'm down. You want more social workers and
My
I feel like you
God,
still have 4
please,
minutes left.
neither one
I feel like you still have
is
4
going to
minutes
work.
left.
How many cops do you walk around seeing on your phone? How about you take?
upstairs with texting you.
And they're all they're buddied up.
Now,
That was one of his things is they're not supposed to be buddied up. I seen 4 of them walking on the subway platform. Why are we 4 cops walking on one subway platform in a safer neighborhood? They know where the problems is. They don't want to solve them because
Another one is you're in Roosevelt Avenue. Instead of them being where prostitutes are, they're on the other side. It's like
yep, they know.
Yeah.
They don't want to do
But
the
if you know
they don't
how
want to
it
do the
is, if you know
paperwork.
how this is, They're just
That's it.
That's why I said auditing
That's a New York
auditing and
City
accountability
thing, I think,
is the new military for the American citizen. If we don't take seriously governing our government, like if we can't see it by what they've done to the veterans, they're coming for you. Like because they'll totally destroy your mind, your family, your everything, and then they'll write on outside their wall, the next generation will only serve because of the reason how they see veterans treated right now. Like, hold on.
So I, to his point, the reason why we end up in more violent shelters when we come out of there is because of that MICA designation. Yeah. So once you walk in through those doors and you walk into that atmosphere, you're labeled as mentally ill or drug addict. So when you are taken out, and I was there for 5 months. I testified in front of the New York State Assembly
That's what I was.
on the conditions there. That night I got back from Albany, I watched another veteran overdose and die in a VA-funded program. The next night, a veteran was killed by a hit-and-run driver. They don't report these to the VA like they're supposed to. Within 24 hours of an incident like that, they're supposed to be reporting this to the VA. They're not doing that. On top of it, the night that the veteran was killed outside by the hit and run driver, I was standing outside. One of the staff members turned to me and said, "You can't blame that on us." And I said, "I certainly can, because of the conditions where we're living. We're in an industrial area." The next morning, they put up flyers. And they took down all of the privacy screens, which we are entitled to have. And they started saying, "We're going to take your speakers. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that." And then they turned around and they went to all the troublemakers and they said, "Well, if you've got a problem with that, go see the white guy in the corner." And they put the finger on me. Now, my apartment had been waiting for me for 4.5 months, empty. And so that morning, I left. I refused to go back because I knew they had put a target on my back. No. I was no longer safe
the first
there.
time that happened to you?
And I demanded they put me in my apartment. I had my keys at 3:30 that afternoon and was in my apartment.
It's until
they can do this.
Demand something for them and you stand up, they'll keep giving you unlimited. How could an empty apartment be empty for 4.5 months and making what's going on there? The city's having to pay that. Somebody's having to pay that. That's going to waste. The VA is now supposed to go sue those people, get that money back because the veteran wasn't getting served. But they don't want to do the paperwork. The only paperwork they want to do is document what's our fault.
I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't want and any story that they tell, it's told in the veteran.
Like,
what is
so
that crazy?
how long have you been?
It's like 6
you were
months.
suspicious of you were upset with the program or whatever. You were frustrated. Remember
no,
just the other day they wrote it in your official VA chart.
They cut him?
Yeah,
He was frustrated with the GPD
know
program.
they did that.
Not that the GPD program was frustrated.
I got a phone call.
Anything
I got a
that,
phone call from the
it's spooky.
advocate over at the VA.
No, it's spooky. I don't mean to
she
say this
put
like
in
No, I just meant that you could
my
take a drug and
record
use
in
it
my
as a-
VA
Oh,
record,
hell no.
making
Well, I mean, you
this
can.
out to be my fault.
Yeah.
So they made you
that
cut them though.
I was
it wasn't
being
a weapon.
unreasonable.
Like
It's a
He was the
stereotype.
problem because he's complaining about people
Stereotype.
smoking crack around him.
Anything that's
insane.
threatening to.
I feel like
Like-
dreads are.
So what happens? He gets targeted,
close to
and
that.
they did the same thing to
this
him,
is my-
except
this is my
to me, except they
they
tried to
don't
use.
allow
Well, it's not my culture.
he didn't go
because I
back.
can't grow dreads.
I didn't know they had a target on my head. I just went to the bathroom at 3 a.m. and two people attacked me. So you know, like he got out of there.
But I saw
don't know
quite
if
a few
if white
veterans
people have
who
a culture.
were kicked out
I
for
would like to
various
think that we do.
reasons. But what happens there is
So
now
it's
you
one of
are in a
exploration and-
mentally ill chemical abuse shelter,
Everyone has a
and they're
culture.
not going to
It's just
send
that
you
you have
to
be able to
anything
identify your
but
cultures, whether
the
it be your
same
hairstyle, your
shelter
clothes,
I guess I don't
conditions,
know where my
which
people
are always
from.
going to be
I really
worse.
don't.
It's they figured out our cycle,
Kinda just made
and
up
they
my own
figured out how
You know,
to
like
make it look like they're on it, but fail at the exact moments when we're about to fix it. I've had three sets of
yeah,
sets
cool,
of three
yeah.
different vouchers
I hadn't really
that they have that somehow they have
Seems like
fumbled
everybody's
and
got
lost
for it
lost
or
the
something.
ball.
Well,
you know,
I've won 60 housing
King's got a
lotteries.
culture.
Yeah, I know that, but, like,
Everyone
for white
has a
people-
culture. You got a culture. You just gotta.
But what is that?
Y'all look outward too much.
My
You don't
peeps,
look
thank you.
inside your
Look
way.
out.
Shout out to Eli.
Okay.
I can definitely. I will think about what you said.
Yeah.
I think you should return anyways. I think you're out. Did you have something that you wanted to?
Yeah. I'm waiting.
I'm not sure if the podcast is over or if it started or.
So I guess I'll be the one signing off tonight, peeps.
Well,
It
well,
was
hopefully-
exciting.
I have-
Sorry.
Or
I
we
have one
done.
last thing to say.
I thought we
In
were.
all
I got
actuality,
one
can I
last thing
say
to say.
something to end?
Yeah, he
I
still
mean,
had some
we're ending,
stuff,
right?
I think.
We're ending or what?
We're not signing off.
No, we're just talking. We're just
No,
spitballing.
he
We're
has
just
some stuff he
spitballing.
was gonna
I
say.
think we should formulate our own entity.
That's all
We
cool.
are.
but
That's the only real way.
that's all really cool. Let's listen.
Veterans
to
have always been the ones who saved the other veterans. It was never the VA.
You're right, and it never will be the VA.
don't
Let's
think it's
listen
a
to what he
good
has to say. That he said he had
I
something to
think
say
it's a
before we
great.
signed off.
I think it's a great time.
Guys,
He has to go.
Guys,
He has to
I agree
go.
with
guys, you had 4 time the whole time.
ahead,
He
sir.
wanted to say something.
How y'all doing? Okay, I want to once again thank you for your services and everything. I'm Black Cat Electric Motorcycles on YouTube. I don't know when we're going to ever meet again or if we will,
That's
because I'm 65 and most of you around my age or the
You
same
got
age.
them VA glasses.
All right. So I do want y'all to understand that the wars that been played out
Are played.
here in America throughout the journey, you know, my people, because we were just sitting here talking about cultures.
Your people's my people. Bro.
My peoples have been in same wars. So
All of them.
if y'all are from where I'm at, you should know about segregated military men. All right, this is what I'm getting ready to bring up right
Go
quick.
ahead.
But I want y'all to try to, before I read it, because this is about Black American
Should
heroes,
identify
my
with
heroes.
ourselves as well.
So, but I want y'all to understand what.
In their mind too.
So when we got out, when my ancestors got out of the war, soon as they came back to America, Alabama, Mississippi,
Supposedly,
Virginia,
according to the histories.
they hung us.
Well, that's
burned
because they
us
were
up.
actually Moors and they were
Okay.
kings of this land.
So
before-
okay, we don't want to go like into like
Okay,
white
okay.
people hung black people. Whether the black man was a Moors, whether he was a Christian, he was you know. You
It's
don't-
rich. It's
You're right,
rich.
We're not talking
It's
about
rich and
that.
poor. It's
We're
rich and
talking
poor.
about
So what is your-
why didn't black people back then get what y'all are talking about right now? And
Okay, so
and I
we're
want to
talking
read
about,
that to you.
We're talking about
He's gonna-
why
he-
something didn't happen that should have happened.
I want to just read that to you
Yeah.
because it's your military history.
Well, I suppose it's not
Yeah,
relevant. but
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is relevant because
it's not
I'm
relevant
showing
as
you
far as
how
if you'll get it
they're
today.
taking from you guys now.
Yes, it's, they're using.
Well, yeah,
they're using,
well, yeah,
they're using
yes,
the
it's
same
definitely
pattern.
relevant.
They're
It's
using
called
the
the,
same mechanism.
that they use the same mechanism for you that they're using now for everyone.
The acts of denial
All right.
benefits to Black World War II veterans is the Servicemen's Rejudgment Act of 1944. So, commonly known as the GI Bill.
Okay.
So, the GI Bill
Yeah, that.
was for the veterans,
Yeah.
but not the blacks.
What?
So this is what the
I don't remember that happening.
the GI Bill did to my family. While not while discriminatory on its face, the bill was administered locally, allowing systematic racism as such as Jim Crow.
Can you explain that a little more? Because the GI Bill was for all.
Let him finish his talk, man. Just let him finish.
Jim
I
Crow.
don't remember that.
Okay, if you
Jim
don't remember,
Crow
just let him finish
policies
it.
to restrict black veterans from education, housing, loans, meaning going to the bank, owning a business, ever getting a car, training, thing.
Came back.
Yeah, but y'all were getting that.
So you're saying you didn't receive
We
college?
were not. My ancestors were not getting that. My grandfather.
You mean late back?
You understand what I'm saying?
then.
You
Yeah,
remember. You said your grandfather
You
was a
mean back,
war
like,
vet.
yeah.
Y'all grew up in a nice home. Your grandmother and grandfather's probably stayed together for life.
You're talking
Well,
about
my
World War
my
II or-
ancestors were brown. I
don't know. I mean,
everybody was Mexican.
Okay, I
in my
apologize.
family.
I apologize.
Well, we all
I'm
come from black
I'm the only
I
white
just
boy. I'm
wanted
adopted.
to get to a point where you guys are now talking about, oh, we love Mandani. I love him. God bless
I
him.
do not love
He's the
Mandani,
great thing
but
to me that ever happened
He has.
in New York.
There's some
Now,
ideas.
Now, he does have a good plan for the veterans. He sees and understands this. But the thing is, where y'all are at right now,
Where?
from what the audience sees,
Where's
what I see.
Where's Madame? What is his plan for the veterans?
You said let it keep going.
So hold on a second, yeah, and
I'm in the host chair. Thank you.
there is
I didn't realize.
a
All the
way
chairs were the same.
to redeem your lives individually, and if you have the problems that you're stating that you have DHA, which y'all guys spoke about, VHS, I mean, and HRA. Now, in order to get anyone that's going to speak to y'all, they're going to always tell you first, you need to go get housing, because once you go into the system, you get this HRA number. You're in the government plan now. So you're on your flight, but people are bailing out of the flight before the airplane gets off the ground, where it's going to eventually one day land you, where you have a home, some dignity.
I want
Now,
to put a key in the door. That's all.
so this is the plan where you have to start like, right? I came out of jail, petty crimes that my counterparts were just getting off. You know, their mother go pick them up. But I'm doing 40, 50 years in there, you know what I mean? Hard labor. You know, jail cells, not the correctional institutions. This was jail. You know what I mean? The floor went down like that with a swope in it, you know what I mean? Porcelain toilet, some sinks and stuff. So this is the way we live. And they filled the jail up with us. So we couldn't argue and learn anything the way y'all have a podcast today. Wasn't no podcast back then. We was in front of the fire with our hands, you know, singing Motown songs that are here today. So
You had the
this is
same
part of our
opportunity
culture.
to speak then as you always have.
So the best thing that I could ever tell you guys is like, in order to be on one accord,
Yep.
go
United.
save yourselves. Go into a program.
Don't rely on the VA.
Well, relying on the government assistance that's
It's a
there
failure
for
from
you
the start.
now. Get yourself better, juiced up, gassed up, you can feel strong. And then now you go after, you know, you have strength to understand, study. And the best way, the thing I would say to y'all to study the military, just like any other historical understanding of America, is study Black history.
Yeah.
And you'll understand.
Yeah,
You'll
absolutely.
understand. Everything gonna come clear to you. I don't
Absolutely.
mean to say it in that raw to you. I love y'all.
Yeah.
You're my cousins. You know what I mean? You're my family. We're human beings. We're in the freest country on earth,
But
the
you do realize
United
that all the
States
histories are
of
false.
America.
Right.
One of the what I
You
think
do realize that black
I think-
people were here all along.
We've been
right?
here
And
for
that-
centuries.
Okay,
I think
fine.
that
Y'all brought a book out, or your people brought a book that Christopher Columbus sold. You know, sold that. You know,
Black people were obviously
I think
already
things
here.
that-
If they
y'all got
weren't
the-
here, then
y'all
how did they
family
already
told
have
the
all
stories
islands around the United States?
from here to Timbuktu.
I think
with the
Iraq
lies.
and Afghanistan changed that.
He doesn't know.
Because when I was serving, we were totally colorblind. I served with guys from everywhere, men and women from all over the
I
country,
respect that, but you
all
gotta
different
remember-
colors. And I think that what happened is Iraq and Afghanistan started to drive a wedge within our military that separated the races. And then when they got out, it
I
just
did not
continued.
experience any of that.
Right now, today, what's that thing that put on the stove and then it goes?
Kettle.
The kettle right now. The kettle is boiling over
Today?
And everybody on Earth know who caused them problems now.
Yeah,
Who?
and
More, so we know. So y'all
Juice
go for the
boxes.
uniform if you want.
Who?
There's
boxes.
nobody on the planet that really like y'all. To the point, we're in the United States. That you done took that. It means a lot in our families. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not in the
could
general
elaborate.
public. Finding out the discrimination that we've been going
You
through.
could elaborate.
Yeah, but that's
You could
also
elaborate.
that's also not true.
Absolutely
So
It's not true.
so look, you guys got to understand something. In all of African language, there's not
Sundown
there's
cities.
not one word for the word maintenance. Okay, and every single railroad that England built through Africa was not one of them is working today because it wasn't maintained.
Hold on a
So
second.
this whole thing about like it's not a black and white thing at all.
No, it's not.
And black history is not that important.
That's where you're
versus
gonna always
white
be and you're
history
losing
versus
the world.
Puerto Rican history.
When you
all the
think
same
of
history.
America's not about black
It's
and
the
white.
history of the elite
It's all the same history.
controlling the poor.
Yeah.
It's the same
That's
history,
it.
but we have
You feel
our
like you have a
story.
special
You
claim
have
on
your
it,
story.
and so does
You have
he,
no
and so
special
do I.
claim, Jew, Gentile, woman,
Y'all was
child.
rough on us.
It's
But what he's saying is
elite
true.
and
It's
yes,
always been the elite versus us, and
Yes.
you can feel like you have a special claim on that being black, and I can feel like I have a special claim on that
Of
being white.
course.
He can claim that,
And we
being
have a
Hispanic.
general claim that we're
But
American.
what we all can agree on
we're all poor.
is that we have all been poor, and that we were all led to wars that were false, and those wars were all led by like 6 people, right? And even those 6 people, you realize that that's disputable whether they even have wealth or where it came from, or if they're
The
even real
hatred
people.
of America.
You're not really getting it.
Yes, I am.
It's
I am.
the elite
You can't pull-
versus the rest of us.
Listen,
we're
we
not
are
gonna-
very
You
loved by the
claim
world
that's a
too.
black
Talking facts
history
that
We
of
are
happened
very
in the
loved by
United
the
States of
we
America.
are very
First off,
loved
you
by
realize the
we are very
history is
loved by the
false.
world too. We are
First
not
off,
just
you
hated
realize
by
that
the world.
histories are
That's
false,
see, well,
right?
that's where you're
The
at.
United States was
No, that's
inhabited
what
by
the
black
fact
people.
is.
That's your opinion.
This country, this country brought free. Well,
It's
was the
true.
ability to
Okay,
bring
look at
freedom to
Jamaica.
180 other
That's
nations.
your truth. I'm not
So,
saying it
How
ain't.
were all of the islands surrounding the United States completely inhabited by black people? And you're saying the United States was not inhabited by black people, but by
It's
Indians.
a long story
See,
for you.
and then why do I go around and look for Indians and I look at all the reservations in the United States? There's not enough people to fill one state. Okay, the histories are false. So if we're gonna start and we're gonna
So y'all
talk
didn't
about
come rob
history-
nobody all over the world. Y'all ain't been robbing
No,
all countries on
Listen,
earth.
you guys are the
Black
ones.
people
You
were
guys,
here
you guys,
first. We all derived from black
All the people that came in
Who
as
started
a
the
thief
slave
in the
trade?
night.
Who started the slave trade?
See, it's getting irrelevant.
Who sold black people to the white people? Black people.
See,
You lose your
you're
whole
talking about things
you
that
lose your
might
whole
not
gig
might
there.
not be
No, I
true.
It's
don't.
about
No, I
money. It's
don't.
about
No, I don't.
money.
Black people go
That
way
is
back,
true. It is about
centuries.
money.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
man,
You guys
Before
have-
what you just learned,
You
and
don't even
spit out.
That's what
Black
happened.
people go back all the way to the beginning
it
of
wasn't
Jim.
white people
Slavery
that
has
sold
been
it.
here.
We bought them, but you guys sold them.
You believe in Cain and
So-
Abel? You know that Cain killed Abel?
Yeah.
Okay, what's that about?
Hatred.
So, right, hey, thank
There's
you.
a million
Thank
things
you.
that's about.
Hey,
Right, okay,
Everyone
so
wants
right, a
brother.
million things that what that
Your-
could be about.
I mean, your
but
brother-
not what we
and
talking
that
about. Right?
violence usually
If
comes
maybe
from
one
within
of
one's
them
own
had,
family.
had kinky hair and the one was a little darker than the other one, and he was getting the girls and the bees was landing
Well,
on him.
well, that's
and
none of
the
that
other one got
scriptural, but
jealous.
okay.
Because that only thing
I mean,
that
it
can
tells
make you
us
kill
why
another
in there.
man is jealousy.
It tells us
It has
why in
nothing to
there.
do
It
with
tells us
women.
right
In your
there.
heart.
It tells us right there why
Yeah.
he did it.
So different
God
types
accepted
of people branched
Cain-
off.
Abel's
from this
offering and not Cain's.
Canaanites, is that what you're talking about? The Canaanites, the bloodline of the Canaanites.
Slavery and prostitution, men with men, dumb men with everybody, everything that you see today has been here since the beginning.
You're
Yes.
correct.
My father said, don't worry, when you
Including
come
the
out of
technology.
prison,
Yeah.
the same party you left
Including
is going to
the
be right
technology
there.
has been here from
You know what I mean? Same party. Get
Hey.
yourself together, boy.
It was 4 people
Well,
and one
we're
guy killed a
together.
third of the
That's why we're
population.
Podcasting is because we're trying to arrive at some conclusion that none of us have the entire answer.
Individually, get yourselves together. Try to study your history of what you've been in through, what they did to y'all. Find out did they do anything like this to any other group of people.
And
in
you
the
will
United
find out
States.
that they did it to all of us.
And
in
then
fact.
study it.
Yeah.
And
They did it
you're
to
going to
every one
find
of
out
us.
that it's coming to you now.
They already did it to all of
You know, I
us,
was
not just you.
disgusted as a human being. When
They tore y'all down.
Martin Luther
Tore all of us
King
down.
was killed.
Yeah, they telling all of us.
You
I'm sorry.
understand me?
I'm
You
sorry.
hear me? When Martin Luther King was killed,
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy was killed.
Yeah.
Sure.
JFK
Malcolm,
was
all
killed.
they did
You're right.
it all in the 60s.
So what are you just going to list every
Yeah.
government assassination in the
It
history of the
doesn't
world?
have a color. It's just it was disgusting.
It's the government.
It
That's
really
bad
did.
that you see it that way.
Those are all product of the government.
It
It's
is.
just disgusting.
You didn't live in the
That
inlets.
humanity.
You didn't live in the inlets with us.
You know,
You were living somewhere else across a red. We were
It-
red
I've
line
been through
since I've been born.
It has to do with
The
government.
thing that
Our
bothers me,
hospital's
the
different
thing
from
that
y'all.
bothers me about
None
this,
of- y'all got libraries. We handle libraries. We
Can I say
just
something?
had the police and those white.
Can I
guys
say
blue-
something?
Blue and black.
The thing that bothers me about this conversation that we're having now is now we're talking about, first off, things that might or might not be true, but second off, things that are not beneficial for today. See, we're supposed to be having a podcast about moving forward in today. As long as we keep
No,
like
we're
going
just
back to
talking,
like
man.
Black
Like,
history,
you're the
which
one-
might or
you're-
might not be
you're the
true,
one-
That's
and all
the
this
problem.
stuff. See,
That's the problem.
we're no longer operating in the realm of now. But see, like all else besides for now is abstract thought. So if we want to talk about the ancient black people, or if we want to talk about future white people or future people in general, it's all abstract thought. So the only thing that is pertinent to our conversation now is like in this current time, how can we affect the situation that we are having now?
And that's what I
And
tried to give.
no,
y'all.
that's not what you were getting at. And
Get
that's the
yourself
reason
together.
that,
Go into the program.
fine, we did that. We don't.
I said that.
Okay, now let's move forward. So what is the actual discussion about?
I'm trying to get y'all
When does
lives
the
together
podcast end?
and
But
get,
the-
and get,
but the
get, the,
pro-
get the veterans.
But the problem is
to help y'all.
is that the system,
System now,
the
y'all.
system, if you don't follow their prescribed,
Exactly.
their prescription,
Because you've been playing. Your people's been playing so many games that they've been taking your rights away.
but yeah, but that's
In your
You're
muscle
right,
card,
you're right,
in
but you're saying our people, like,
doing
it doesn't
that,
include you.
raising hell. And so as the years go on, they have slowly
They keep-
taking your shit away.
Yeah, like boiling a frog.
we already was there. So when y'all are falling
You're still
down,
losing shit
we
just
say
like
to
us.
y'all, "Welcome to the valley of the shadow of death." Slow down, you know what I mean? Y'all come down there screaming. Yeah, we all poor. That's it.
well,
Yeah,
I
so
imagine-
we'll always be.
I
We're all
imagine-
poor.
I imagine
We got to
that-
come out of this thing collectively.
that's
As
why
you're
they killed
watching-
Martin
as
Luther
you're
King.
watching-
That's why
Alright,
they, and that's
now,
why they
you
killed
said
Martin
something-
Luther
you said
King.
something
The
very
Million
relevant
Man
just
March
now.
was going to turn
You said
into
we
the
have to
10
come
million
out of
man
this
march for the poor.
collectively.
right.
All right, so how do we
have
come
that.
out of this collectively?
The only thing is that the only thing that I can give today is each individually, even myself, start by cleaning your life up.
Agreed.
Accept the
starts
fact
with you.
that we're all sinners and take the step. I can't take the step for you. You've been to AA and NA.
And we fell over.
But we're also
Yeah,
supposed to
you
carry
gotta-
our
you
brother's
gotta do this
burdens.
one
You're saying
day at a
every
time.
day we got.
That's what we do.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the dream is just all in your head. Gotta get to the military. They doing this
No,
wrong.
no,
Get
no.
to
That's
you
not the
first.
dream. The dream is to be, more Christ-like. I think for all of
And
us.
that's what I was saying about,
Well, you're gonna be shocked when you find out who he is.
Respected
we
as
want to
veterans.
have
Christ-like, same thing.
I-
Right.
And we want to be respected, period. In the
I
United
just want them to
States,
stop
Christ-
stealing
we
our
want to be
money.
respected by being
Christ-like.
citizens that keeps the checks and the
Christ-like.
T's, the I's and the T's crossed around here. That's who we are. We still have a
An
political
example, which is God come to earth.
agenda to do in this country.
Yeah.
We got to do our job still. We still in the military.
All right, so how do we bring? How do we come together as a group cohesively, having all different opinions and having
You
all
could
of our
write a book.
ranges?
You could write a book.
Great,
and give
who
all
reads-
your- you know
and
what I
who
mean?
reads books anymore? I could read it. I
Well,
could
you
write
could do it
1,000
on
books.
AI, but I'm just saying I'm trying to give you ideas. You always
And that's great.
When
But
something
I'm
comes
talking
to you,
about
you
like
can't
how do
knock
we
it down.
really
Just
come together though, like
collectively.
physically.
Physically is not going to happen.
I don't mean physically like in a obviously. I mean like actually like how do we actually?
You got to come up with a plan. The only way men are going to come up with a
Yeah.
plan is men going to get themselves together individually.
A format.
Well,
We ain't going to go out
So
there
it would
and
have
try
to
to go
include-
catch a
it would
bear.
have to
We're going to go
include all of
tranquilize
us.
a bear and everybody acting stupid.
It would have to include
No,
all
we
of
gotta
us
be on the
versus
same thing.
them, and them being the elites and the governments.
but if men get
Or whatever
themselves
you wanna
together, you
call
know
it.
about Cabrini Greens, right?
It's the same thing.
I
You
don't-
know,
I'm
do
sorry,
you
no.
know
Take
Cabrini
it.
Greens? Cabrini Greens, Chicago. The black community got together, got themselves together, created a whole independent socioeconomic society where they did not need a white civilization at all.
Black
they had
Panthers.
their own,
We fed our own-
they had
we
their
fed
own
our
markets,
community.
they had their own whatever. And then
The government didn't want
the
to feed
government
us, so
came
we
in
had to
there,
feed ourselves.
destroyed it all. You can't. It's very even hard to
Have you
even
ever
find
heard
on the
the
internet.
So I lived in Chicago during Cabrini Green,
Tulsa City, everything
They
that we
took it
built.
down. They took it down. It wasn't like that.
No,
But
well,
they,
was
one of
before-
the things that they did do
it
was they had a
predated you.
garden,
This was like the 20s.
but they threw a 7-year-old kid off of the roof. And that was pretty much the end of Cabrini Green.
Yeah, okay. Well, why don't
And
you
a
explain
couple
the
years
rest of
later,
it?
they went in and they tore it down.
Y'all's reign is
describe
over.
it.
that was the second one. There was a
Your reign
original
is
one
over
like in the
at that time.
50s where
You just
Cabrini
destroyed what we were
Greens
talking
was
about.
a cohesive community, and the CIA came in there and broke it all up.
Yo, I'm Black Cat
Okay,
Electric
I would like to hear
Motorcycles.
about the rest of it. Like, how was the community coming together?
What
Not
kind of
the sob
motorcycle
story
do you
about how a
got,
child fell
Hold
through.
on.
I love
It's
motorcycles.
the same way everybody does.
Motorcycles.
When
All right.
we start
I'm down
to
with that.
when we start to care about each other more than
I'm down with all this that you're talking about. Yeah.
I ride an e-bike. I came from
I've been
Yamaha.
thinking about getting an
I
e-bike.
came from I'm talking about motorcycles, Kawasaki's, Hondas.
Yes,
You know,
e-bikes are better though.
you know,
They're
so,
based off
Yeah, I
electricity.
come from a life of that, but that's then. But right now, today, I've been in accidents. Like my health is not good. I got surgeries.
The e-bikers
I
in New
got
York
broken
seem kinda
bones.
crazy. They don't-
So I'm on an e-bike.
Right now,
You know what I mean? Stay in your lane, in other words. You know what I mean? Yeah, stay in your lane. They be ready to kick me out. They be blam, blam.
Them e-bikes,
thinking
they
they
do
gonna,
not
you know,
care
yeah.
about at all about the traffic lights
Well,
or
yeah.
anything. They're flying around like you're trying to like look left, right, like see if someone's coming. The e-bike, boom. It's like, man, come on, y'all
spent
at
2
least
weeks
gotta
there.
obey
I
the
was happy
laws
as
of the
a
rest of
If you ride a bike,
and they're not.
even if it's a bicycle, you are
Gotta obey the
balancing
traffic
your
laws.
life
You are, yes.
and you're
In New
controlling.
Orleans, that's very
So
real.
that's the individual piece.
There's a lot of idiots out
I've had a bicycle for 2
I'm talking about
years.
before the e-bike.
I've
it
never
was already
ridden it
real.
once.
Like, now with the e-bike, it's
It was doing what?
it's
I've
something
had a
else.
bicycle in my apartment for over 2 years now. I've yet to ride it because when I got to
It's
New
probably
York,
calling you.
because when I got to New York, I got an e-scooter.
Oh, you got one.
I had one,
Okay.
and I took it out once, but
It's crazy.
those messengers and
You wanna
those,
sell that?
they scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So
I want
I
one
got
for
rid
back
of
my
that.
car.
I got a
I
regular
have to get rid of
bicycle,
few
like a
pennies,
fold-up
but no,
one.
I really want an
But
e-bike. No,
I don't ride it
one that
because
folds
You
up.
have to be very brave to be on two wheels
Like
that go.
this.
Really brave.
Yeah. And you got to
I'm,
be very
I'm
brave.
65
really
too.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
New battery.
It's a lifestyle to
Yeah.
me.
New
Yeah,
battery.
it's a.
I think it's a
bike
death
life.
sentence.
We'll see. It's a lot.
Bike life.
There's a lot on the marketplace.
I do want to say thank you for
It really depends how heavy it is.
Zay Zay.
Lifting in and out of the car.
Back. You
have
know,
to get rid
I
of the
want to
pain.
say thank you to Eli.
Thank
Sorry
you,
to
man.
interrupt.
You guys being here, it's a pleasure. I'm honored to be in your grace. I'm telling you, y'all. You know what I'm
We are
saying?
too.
So I can't imagine what y'all saw.
I like your taxi
You know what I
pants,
mean?
by the way.
And y'all can't imagine what I saw in the bricks of America running from y'all that left behind. Y'all left behind. Why didn't y'all go to war? You leave us alone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Seems like I already went. Didn't see you
That's
there.
how horrific it was. But now today we can live amongst each other and talk.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't hear.
That's the
y'all
most
didn't hear
important
that shit
thing.
before.
Don't
That's the
say
most
y'all. We
important.
were not
I
alive
don't mean it
before.
like that.
Don't be like that.
The problems in the
Those
world
were people
that happen,
did
y'all
not
don't
even-
have nothing to do
weren't
with
even
it.
related to
You're
us.
victims of what you really didn't.
We inherited it.
You're right. You're talking about something that didn't even involve us. First off, you're saying y'all like as though we're slave masters or some shit.
No.
Like we don't even know who was even here at that time. We definitely weren't being bigots or anything. So you're saying y'all, but man, where are you?
It depends.
Where are you?
We'll see.
Like we're the same as you. We're all.
If he has,
We're all
if he
thinking
signs an
same
executive
process.
order for veterans, he'll be
I-
a good
You see
mayor.
it
If
as, like,
not,
the
he
white
won't.
Have you ever-
black and they see it as-
This
Have you
this
ever
is the
seen-
simplest
have you ever
solution:
seen,
is the veterans
That's
have
what
the
he's
most
showing us, is that we're all
guaranteed funding
divided.
backing
Okay, here's a
them.
good question.
And if he can't get his city
That's
to
the
follow
whole
their
thing.
own
That's the whole
damn
power
policy,
mechanism.
then he ain't a
I'm
good
letting
fucking
you
Divided
mayor.
all.
But if
And
he
that we never-
can,
we never
then
come
then he might be a
together.
good mayor.
Anyway, have
I'm
you
listening to you too, but you didn't let me finish.
If you
Have
can't solve the
you ever
veteran issue,
seen
you can't solve any other
a
issue
cop
because our
come
shit's
in
the
your
easiest.
neighborhood? Two black guys, they the cops,
Good,
and
let's
in
do it.
in front of you. Has any of you
Are you asking
seen
me honestly?
and you gunned down?
Yeah.
Have
So
you
wanna
ever
ask me
seen anything
honestly,
like
if I
I
in
need
your
a meeting.
neighborhoods growing
I
up?
need a meeting.
Growing up.
Growing up.
Have you ever seen two black men come in here?
Set it up.
Get pushed the white boys on the car.
Are you asking
and
me
kill 'em?
honestly? Are you asking
Well,
me an honest question?
I was white people were the minority where I grew up.
Right, no black cops was in your
Actually,
neighborhood.
white people
walking
were
the
the
beat,
everybody was
walking
Hispanic.
around the corner.
Everybody was
pushing nobody
Hispanic
up
or
against
Native
the-
I want to tell
American.
you something that I haven't told you, but I grew up 18 years.
That was
10 months.
24/7 down here.
Yeah.
I grew up 18 years, 10 months in Rawway State Prison, East Jersey State
I've been in
Prison.
Rawway. I came out of
For
Rawway.
somebody killing
I
my
did 25
grandmother.
years to life.
Somebody
Same.
killing
You're not
my
gonna go there.
grandmother, right? And I lived
your
in
thumb
that
wrestle
world,
again?
and that's
Yeah.
black man's world. I'm a white man in a black man's world, but I got along.
Stop saying it like that. Like
No,
the
but
earth,
it was
like
it
the
was.
earth.
He's saying
is-
it like you were just saying it.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
saying it like
And
you was-
the opposite way
know,
that you were
it
just
was-
saying.
it
Okay,
was
you said you
me
just said you believe in God, right?
yes.
So
I'll be all-
God said that He made the earth subservient to mankind.
Yes.
All right.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without
All
a
All right, so,
So,
okay, so
yeah.
fine. So there's
And that's
something
what
that
happened.
everybody at the table
was
can
nice.
believe in
God,
right now,
God,
which is that we all believe that Yahuwah or whoever you want to call
But
it.
if you want to make it a hell on earth,
No.
that's fine with me. But if you're going to
All
try
right,
to
well,
make
don't-
a
don't
paradise
do that.
on
He was
earth,
disagreeing
that's
with
where
you.
we're supposed to
He
be
was
getting
disagreeing
to.
with you.
But everybody's caught in what we're doing right here now, all around the world.
So we can all agree here that we all believe that Yahuwah
What we gonna do?
is going to do it.
We need to get
We can all believe in
physical.
that,
No,
right?
we need to get individual.
I believe everyone here, the only
Fine, you
person
know,
that made a frown.
Save your motherfucking mind in order to save your body. Because you got to change your mind.
I
For
believe
real.
that what you said is true. I don't like all the
the way that
division stuff
this
at the
is set
beginning.
up is any
because
one
we
of
didn't
these
grow up in that time
agencies
period,
could have
but-
activated their safeguards, reported the other
Last part
agencies,
you
and
said.
done it. I don't believe in any of them
Because
because
you
they
have-
all
you have- no,
because
you
they
have-
can
like
all
the fact that
report
you
each
can't do
other
anything
for
without God,
fucking this
right?
up.
Don't you-
So
I mean,
they're
that's-
all
that's-
just
that's if
covering
you
the
believe
wagons
in
and then
God,
blaming
you know.
us and then saying,
People that don't
"Okay,
believe in
well,
God.
what's the
Yeah,
problem?
that's what
Okay,
happened.
we'll
We
talk
believe
about it. We'll build a committee.
Well,
We'll
for me to say I
we'll jerk
believe in
each
God
other
is
off
basically
some more."
say that I believe, but I already know.
Let's create 12 more positions that cost $1 million
basically downgrade
instead of
myself to
spending $1
something
million
less than
at the veteran
Just that I
shelter,
already know
taking
God.
them to activities,
how
which
can I say
is
I
supposed to
believe
be
in
the
God?
very
I
first
know God.
things money spent on.
Sleep would be like a downplay from reality.
Like true justice.
Wouldn't you say the same thing?
Yeah.
The VA
we're
programs, like what we're
small
talking about tonight?
in this huge-
600.
I wouldn't say that at all.
600 programs.
Oh, you don't
I would
think
say
this
that
place
the
is bad?
Lord. I would say that the
Oh,
Lord
veterans.
created us in
There's
His image,
at Borden,
and that
that's
we
the
are
only
more
ones they
powerful
count
when we care to give
because
ourselves
they,
credit for it.
even though
And
on all those
because we are
questionnaires
timid,
they say
and we are
say
afraid of
veteran,
the power
but
which
they
exists in us.
they
If
only
we ever
report
stop
that
to
for the
like
tax
untap it,
for the
then
tax
it is
benefits.
untold. But it is
Scientifically,
not necessarily in the form
Yes.
of like a crazy
I
like
think there's
atomic bomb
probably
miracle. It
around
doesn't have to
2,000
be.
veterans
It only has to be an
that
act of
are
kindness that is
experiencing
spread,
some
and that
sort
ripples throughout
Of
society.
instability,
scientifically, we are like
homeless or homeless or close to homeless.
that come together.
one
anymore.
facility
Well,
in
you're
Los
Ever
science-
since COVID,
you're
I don't
sci-
much care about that.
You're living this
For
dog.
now.
You're
Oh, I understand.
scientific evidence.
Oh, I understand the
Sitting right next-
And they put it a half a mile away from any type of transportation,
without vibration.
and the majority of them have disabilities.
Every season brings
Yes, there's frequency
They don't.
vibration.
They didn't put us in Manhattan, right next to a train station with an elevator.
Yahuwah, the fact that he vibrates.
We have
the
to.
fact that
They have
he
to walk a
speaks,
half
the
a
fact
mile
that
to
he
get a
meditates,
Coke.
And therefore, we exist.
Why do y'all use the
know,
African?
yeah.
You said on Yahuwah.
I say that.
Not
but
one.
you can
They
say
don't have it.
I say it to be more
That's not,
specific.
and that's not
to,
truly.
not to section
not
myself off
true.
from
It-
someone else.
because
I
it's
didn't
a
say
hybrid
elitist
program.
or anything.
Under the
I say
guidelines
Yahuwah
of the
because it's
GPD
most accurate
program.
translation I know of the word God,
I'm good.
which is ancient, I guess, Paleo Hebrew or whatever
You
they
know
call
what I
it.
mean?
But I mean, people say a lot of things like, well, the Muslims say
For the amount of money they're getting, it
I don't
absolutely
identify
is
with that, but
unbelievable.
I also don't dislike it.
I'm good.
Since,
Probably
They-
taking
Okay,
all
I
those
won't.
I appreciate the offer, my friend.
Thank you so much.
I would have if I had
The
not
way
drank beer.
the way this
Creator
GPD
and
program is
created.
run,
Those are the
Okay,
two
so
things
they
you got.
have-
the reason I say Yahuwah is
they
not a
can-
distinction thing.
It's a name.
It's-
God has many
it's
names.
just because
As long
it's
as
the
they-
most ancient
they're-
one I know.
they've got the people in their
Um,
program.
I need
They're-
ketchup.
it's
I need
not-
ketchup,
You ran
please.
over Africa.
I need ketchup.
Stay over in America.
Somebody send me
Who
ketchup.
told you I
God,
ran
your
to
God.
They can
Africa?
put
You believe in
non-veterans
Jesus Christ
in
and
there.
who's your
Who told
Lord
you
and
you
Savior?
even
have
came
to
from
be veterans.
Africa?
Believe me, we all believe me.
Believe
I know I
me,
can't
you don't
believe
even know what the map looks like.
Believe me.
Believe me,
And it
the
never
map
was.
was
They
changed
did-
in 1956 to be a
Now
heliocentric
again,
model of the universe.
They've got
And before that, for
different
thousands of
vacant
years,
beds
people had
over
maps
there,
that looked completely
vacant
different.
cubicles over
They've
there
got 100.
in our
right?
programs. So
Thank
Not
you.
crazy. easy. It's called
like I was
information.
told.
Thank you, Eli.
They haven't sent anybody
Thank you, my
from
friend.
a real veteran over
Yeah,
to
how can
Gordon
we tell?
Avenue in 3 months.
It doesn't matter. We're having fun.
And that's
aren't we?
because
We
the
believe we're on a
funding-
podcast, and we are.
What I was told is the funding's been halted because of misconduct.
And here's
by
the
staff.
central.
It's got to be. People
So-
like
And this grant
So this-
review,
this
this
is
grant,
making-
we're in grant
Yo,
review season right now. It's
I'd like to
between
go up front,
June
maybe smoke or-
and September. The latest that
Where's
they
our
can turn it in is October
Is he
23rd.
all right?
We need to
The one that went to
poll
bathroom,
those
he's okay?
veterans about those conditions
him?
so they can't
He
make
didn't
another
leave.
false
Oh, no.
claim and continue.
Dog it.
Wait,
What are you saying?
he left?
Dog
I think the program will be
get him
done
out?
by. I don't think they're going to
Why?
fund this program any longer. I think
Bro,
they,
with you? With you?
they've been
With you?
in the same way that
Are you
they,
monitoring him getting home?
in
Okay. Okay,
the
because
same
you
way
realize that
they
he was
say,
not.
Hey, look at
See, they
there's
know.
Oh,
only
okay,
600 veterans that are
You realize
homeless,
that he's
when in fact there are
operating off
2,000,
1 hour
because
sleep
they don't
yesterday.
want to make themselves
Okay,
look bad.
you realize that, right?
So then they,
All right. There's just a
in
little
that
concern.
regard,
We all need help.
they are
Let him
looking to
specifically-
take the $5 million that the VA contributes
can't
to
listen to
that
this,
program,
though. I'm
and they're looking to
I think the podcast ended probably
make
an hour
it
ago.
part of the city so that they can keep it.
What they're trying to do is because they get 10 times more money.
and all that bullshit, man.
They get.
So they're not going to
I
close
honestly need to
Gordon
find out if
Avenue
my
like
car
they
is-
were.
They're just
saying.
going to make it a city shelter.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. It is
So they're
terrible.
They get twice
They're
as much
not
money from
closing
the
Gordon
city
Avenue. They're closing
because they
the
don't want to
VA.
be accountable
like
to
you,
the
though.
federal guidelines.
I don't necessarily like the constantly
So you make it
references
bad
to the old
enough,
times, but I
and
understand
then
why
the
you do
VA
that.
comes in
I
and
love
says,
you.
"Look, at
No,
you guys
I
are
love you too.
mismanaging
I
this
love you too.
program.
I don't
We're going to do
necessarily
away
care
with
for
it."
the
And then New York says we'll create a
Because
department called the
obviously you have to
Department of
understand
Veteran Services.
that
We'll
you
make sure to
can't
serve them
deny
ourselves.
during that time, and that I can't prescribe nor deny anything that happens.
Now, you heard the guy last. You heard that guy last night. I'm talking, and he goes.
Yeah, but the
As long as
research is there,
nobody's
though.
disrespectful
Well,
or
see, the
interrupts,
research
and I
is
go,
also not-
does that include board members too? He goes, we're not talking to him. We're not letting him talk.
That African people always existed.
So you're going to take away my constitutional right to talk? He's like,
I
and then we'll remove you by force.
The ancient Hebrews were actually black people, and so the histories that you're portraying as being true are not necessarily
All
true,
right. No, go ahead. Close it
and
out.
that's the reason that I do not
We're
adhere
good.
to the.
And we need to get together.
You have your
and
right.
get
But
our
the
own
thing
entity
is
going.
we can all adhere
We're
to
gonna
the
talk to
present,
somebody about it, and
which is today. How are we being treated? And do we feel like we're being treated differently? And if that's so, then that shouldn't be so in America, right? Because all people in America should be treated equally, right?
If you live in today right now, and went through
Well,
all
and that's all that we do is we only live in
You're talking
today
about
right now.
black
but tomorrow you should see a change in your
Tomorrow is tomorrow.
life. If today meant anything to you,
Yeah,
there should be a change in your life tomorrow. If today meant
that's
anything.
true. And sometimes
I mean?
the change is minuscule,
You know?
and sometimes
Well,
there are excuses.
And be
for
honest
why.
Okay.
with yourself. That
Yeah.
black guy
So-
was telling the truth.
And in that part, I respect what you're saying. For sure. Oh, now you're sitting in the main
So
chair.
I
Does
wrote
that
an
mean we're doing
article
podcasts
on
again?
these
Did we ever
hotels.
This
stop?
is nonsense. Right now, this is nonsense.
The
Did we ever
Stewart
start
Hotel,
podcasting? or
which
was
is
it
on
just-
7th
We never
Avenue.
stopped.
Guess
We've
who
been
owns
live.
it?
Why?
Black
The people been commenting.
Nobody
Look at
wants
the
to
comments.
see
Look.
me.
Look at the comments. They're in
Can't
the
see.
comments.
I don't have glasses.
480 rooms.
My people,
The
you have
VA
anything to say to him? Say it in the comment. I'm gonna read it for him. Send him a message.
All right. Well, you have $420 to pay for my
His opinion. Your opinion about my guy over
I
here.
don't care. I have it on my credit card. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Okay, guys, let's get organized before we say goodbye to the people. Because everybody's
Still
speaking all
on.
over. It's like we're on.
Is someone listening? What time is this?
having general conversation.
There's a lot of people watching.
Sure.
With a lot of opinions. As
Sure.
well.
I hope
Like, that's all we
veterans have a lot of opinions.
We have veterans as well. We have veterans as
A lot of
well.
you veterans
Opinions are
and
not that interesting.
non-veterans that support us.
I don't know where's my device, so I was gonna go through the comments real
don't
quick
need to do
of all the veterans. Some of them were agreeing, some of them were uncomfortable. Some of them said that the VA's was always there for them.
That's true. I can't say all bad stuff about the VA. I know I started off saying a lot of bad stuff about the VA. Let me just end on
If I'm not
one
mistaken,
note.
Joseph, you're a veteran as well. Shout out to you. Thank you for the service.
He's not even speaking. But let me just say something. Even though I had a lot of negative things to say about the VA, when I had strep throat, when I had to go to the emergency room and things, they did give me medications and things. And a lot of times the problems that I had were because I'm not capable of showing up at the times that I'm supposed to, which is why I don't have glasses. And it has partially to do with me living in my car because I have a dog and the VA does not accept it. And I don't want to get into that. The VA does help people.
Of course it does.
Now, is the VA perfect? Like, not even.
No.
Not even. if anyone, only he would, okay. Anyways, the VA does help people. In extreme situations where you need something immediately, they will help you. And I say that to all the veterans out there who are living on the streets and who don't even accept their PTSD funds. Like, go and get them. It's going to take a year or two, but go and get them. But, like, the VA does help people. And we're having a whole conversation about how the VA victimizes people. This is also true. Both things can be true, right? And there's a lot of factions within one organization, regardless of what organization you're talking about. Whether it be the juice boxes or America or the VA or where terrorists or supposed terrorists or whatever you're talking about, there are factions within that, right? So we cannot label anybody in a certain way. Whether it be race, creed, nationality, gender, anything, right? They're all stereotypes. That being said, the VA would be better as an organization that did not exist, and that was only TRICARE. And that's all I have to say about it. They do help people if you have an emergency and you go to the emergency room. Even if you're not a veteran, they're going to give you care. That's true. And if you need something to eat, they will give you something, and they'll give you a 5-day-old sack lunch that is old bread, and it's not digestible, and it's not the same thing that they give to the doctors. That being said, they still will give you a meal. And I'd like to leave it on that note.
Okay, I would like to go back to my guy Tim. Tim, I've seen people that would like to know how can they reach out to you or support you, or if there's any cause that they could help out in. How can the people support this cause? How can we make this cause greater by uniting my audience and the people that are going to see this in the future? Where can they help and support, and in what way?
Yeah, what about a civilian website? I don't know how to make a website.
Stop interrupting. You're asking him.
So I have 2 websites. One is theforgottenveteran.org, and that is mostly for veterans seeking resources. So if you're homeless or you need access to resources, right now we're working at integrating AI. So you provide me your zip code, and then I seek out veteran-specific or veteran-centric organizations' resources for you. The one that I use for my advocacy, like what we're doing this evening, is Veterans Justice Project. I started that mostly working with incarcerated veterans and those who are being released from prison to get them access to resources and services within the VA. Google Veterans Justice Project, and my name is Timothy Pena, and that'll pop up.
And you can find the lawsuit as well. ChatGPT or Grok will find it if you want to, or Google it, and follow it. We're not gonna stop. I'm filing I'm filing a parallel lawsuit with Tim. Tim's paved the way.
I'm not supposed to speak.
And we're gonna untangle this bureaucratic mess of no accountability and no consequences, because even when they get caught, like ICL, are they gonna have to pay back the $48 million? Should they have to give the VA back the money? VA don't go after it, so it's truly a waste on both sides, and it's just one hand greasing the other. If the VA went back after the money, believe you me, they would not allow these things to happen.
Do you want me to talk about my lawsuit?
Yes, go ahead. Tell the people a little bit.
So I came to New York City in July of 2022. I was in the shelter, Borden Avenue here in New York City, that we've been talking to for 5 months. In one 11-day stretch, I watched 3 veterans die. And when I got out of there, I was so disgusted. I used to work in a transitional program in Phoenix. I started advocating for the veterans to receive better treatment coming into New York City. After 3 years of banging my head against the wall, being dismissed, being not heard, watching veterans die in VA programs funded by VA dollars, I finally got fed up, and in July I filed a federal lawsuit in Southern District of New York. They're not providing services to women veterans. They're not providing adequate program guidelines as per policy. This is a federal policy that we fall under. This is a congressional policy, congressional law. They're violating it. Funds are missing. And when I was brought into the Veterans Task Force as a member, when I started complaining and started bringing up these issues, they effectively fired me. They kicked me off the Veterans Task Force
right?
as the only homeless veteran for homeless veterans.
Right.
So after
Can I say something about that real quick?
frustration and everything else, I said, screw it. And I filed against them in federal court, against the City of New York, Department of Homeless Services, the organization that is supposed to be administering our services, Institute for Community Living, which is having a fundraiser on May 20th, by the way. A plate goes for $750. That is 300 veteran meals that we get served in our VA program at $250 a meal.
Of course, the budget's already
And
allocated.
I'm suing the grant per diem program, which is supposed to be overseeing, making sure that we're safe, and then the two people that kicked me off the Veterans Task Force for violating. A lot of people don't know this. Veterans with PTSD, we fall under the Americans with Disability Act, just like many other disabilities, and we have rights as well. And they violated those rights when they kicked me off the task force. So,
and they didn't do it the right way.
there's
administratively.
information on Veterans Justice Project for anybody that wants to contribute to that. I'm doing everything pro se at this point, but I would love input from anyone that has federal attorneys that might have a little experience in this. Give me some pointers.
Gotcha. Wow.
Thank you for that.
My guys, it couldn't get better, and don't you think this is gonna be the last one? You hear me? Because I want to hear from you. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna follow up with you guys. If you guys need me at any time, please pick up that phone and hit me up. I will be there no matter what I'm doing. I appreciate you guys for coming and sharing all your stories. I'm getting a little emotional because you guys need to be heard. Besides all the bullshit and all the disagreement and I'm this and I'm that, this is a generational thing, you know? And if you guys don't do nothing, it's going to be worse for the next generation.
One of the things,
And it's going to get worse. And it's going to get
I
worse.
thought there would be another generation after this one. But
And you guys are warriors of this country. And once again, I appreciate your service, and my doors are open for all of you. If there's anything you guys need, you can guys count on me, and I hope to see you guys again here. One more thing before I go. I'm over here crying like a baby. In front of all military veterans. Shouldn't be doing that, huh? Don't show your
yes, you
weakness.
should.
Veterans
I'm a
cry
human,
too.
though. Oh, you guys cry too?
That sounds like a good book.
Especially on those commercials,
That
you
sounds
know.
like a good book.
Those commercials mess us up.
Yo, black guy, I want to offer you my apologies for putting you in this cave of all these wolves. You know what I mean? But you guys you met them. You guys learned something from each other.
Yeah,
You
this
know what I
was a
mean?
learning
Agree to
experience for me.
disagree in a lot of things.
Yeah.
But it's a learning experience. Hopefully it's not the last one. Thank you for coming. My
Thank
doors
you
are
for
open for
inviting
you
me. Thank you so
as
much.
you already know.
Thank you for inviting
It's
me.
my pleasure. Yo, you
And
and
so
you You are special. You are something else. You hear me? You are something else. You have something in your brains that you don't want to share with the people, but he has a lot of information.
What people don't feel like hearing.
And you need to be heard.
You are being
He's available. He's
all
available.
of being
I've been heard at any point if someone tried to hear.
We're all available for our
gotta shut me
individual
down as soon as
episodes.
I
Yo, my
Let's
feet,
go.
let's clap it up for the veterans. Come on, help me out for the best. Come on. It's been a pleasure. I'm gonna see you guys. Yo, wait, come here. You right here in front. Yo, I appreciate you. Hear me? All right.
I think
All right.
we have like